Hayden Winks quite literally has all the data that you need to know to win $2 million playing fantasy football. So we should probably just shut up and let the dude talk.
It's short king summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's short king summer.
All right, GM, everyone. Hayden Winks here on the program. No double booking for myself or for Hayden. Hopefully this time the StreamYard universe, Google Firebase basically shut down the entire internet halfway through drafting our Best Ball Mania team. Last time, Hayden, thank you very much for joining the show. You've cranked out a bunch of new data since we last spoke. What's the most annoying ADP on the board? Whose hand do you least want to shake when they're taking a player at ADP? I think there's many great candidates for this. You can really go one way or the other. For me, it's almost got to be the Javonte Williams drafter, the guy who is just running to the podium to take Javonte Williams at ADP.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Let's see who I have like really buried. Round one, I can't do it with Ashton Jeanty. Like, I just straight up can't do it. Look at all
right. Speak on that because that means you and I are not shaking hands. I'm going to let you go first, and I'll see. Maybe you'll change my mind, but you go first.
Well, I mean, look at the running backs are right next to him. They just ran for 1,500 yards and scored 15 touchdowns and stuff. Like, that's kind of what we're hoping for Ashton Jeanty. And the Raiders, just their offensive line doesn't look as good. And then also he's coming off of 400 touches himself. So we're doing the Saquon a lot of touches narrative. Like, look at what Ashton Jeanty just did and then did the pre-draft stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I would draft him like in the middle to late part of the second round. But man, like you're sacrificing all of these wide receiver 1 points, and there's a huge drop off into that next tier. And I don't know. I'm looking at these round 5 running backs. I mean, like Chuba, Mixon, Kamara, Kenneth Walker. Those dudes can easily be second round values. So I'm kind of saving a running back bullet for that kind of tier. So yeah, I want Christian McCaffrey. I want all those wide receivers. I would take Derrick Henry over Ashton Jeanty. And then once we get to that next tier, the Drake London, AJ Brown stuff, like that's where I think I would start mixing him in a little bit. But yeah, that's my bold take.
All right. I hear you and I disagree with you. And I'm going to tell you why I disagree with you. The first being, if this was a situation where he got drafted to a team and there was a Najee Harris, if there was honestly, even if there was a Devin Singletary, if there was a guy who I knew coaches just love to give this dude 8 touches for no reason, I think that I would probably give it to you. The reason why, first off, I have like literally zero concerns about Jeanty workload. Like, I think that if you made me, if I had to set the odds, I truly might set the odds that Jeanty touches the ball the most of any player in the entire NFL this season. His backup is 32-year-old Raheem Mostert, oldest contracted running back in the NFL. Zamir White, Sincere McCormick. Yep. I don't think Amir Abdullah is on the team anymore. Please don't fact check me. No fact checking on the program. The second thing, though, is I put Jeanty in the same bucket that I put in Travis Hunter, where it's like, I totally buy your arguments about a median scenario, but in my opinion, fantasy football is a game of outliers, and Ashton Jeanty is an outlier. Like, I think this is a guy who will probably average like 1.3 yards per route run as a running back and average like 4.8 yards per carry. And if I end up being wrong, the thing about being wrong about Jeanty is going to mean Bowers went absolutely nuclear. That's kind of what I think. I think it's that instead of Jeanty scoring 17 touchdowns, Bowers had his Gronk season where he just ripped off. Like, every time they got to the 6-yard line, it was like, bang, Bowers. And it's just like, it's totally unstoppable. But yeah, I can't bring myself to be afraid of Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah, he's not going to be like a stone cold bust. Like, he's going to be a second round value, but like, I don't know, Devon Achane could have an absolutely nuclear season. Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry.
You know what he could be? he could be the old Ezekiel Elliott silent killer, where the season seems good on the surface. So the old Mike Clay projection, people here at the channel know that I love the Mike Clay projections, has him for 281 rushes, 1,289 rushing yards, 8 rushing touchdowns, 62 receptions, 472 yards, 2 touchdowns. If he scores 10 touchdowns, sucks. You need a minimum of 14. And you need to probably believe he's got a ceiling of 20, I think, at where he goes. I believe that. But yeah, if you don't believe that, just take Derrick Henry. Or more importantly, to your point, just take Nico Collins. Take Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's easier to replace Jeanty's median production in round 5. You are never replacing Nico Collins's median projection ever.
Yep, I agree with that. And also with these projections here, like I think this is well within the range of outcomes, everything that Mike Clay's talking about. 80 targets, like that's not easy to pull off. Like that could be, if that's 60 or 55,
it's not great.
Then it kind of goes sideways. Like he needs the receiving work and to run hot on a team that's not going to score a lot of touchdowns. Like he's going to have a huge bulk of it. All this stuff is like well within the range of outcomes. So like I don't want to be like totally down on him, but man, like Amon-Ra St. Brown and these guys are kind of sitting right there next to him. I just can't get to the Ashton Jeanty side of that.
Structurally, I agree with you. I also think you're on the wrong mic input. Structurally, I think you are probably right. It's just one of those, like, it's this is actually a very hard thing to balance as someone who has a lot of player takes, but then also like understands and knows the data. Is like, yeah, man, I don't like, I love Ashton Jeanty. I love Christian McCaffrey. But it's like pretty unarguable that like the 2v2s always favor the wide. Like if you look at the 2v2 and it's Nico Collins and Ken Walker versus Ashton Jeanty and Jalen Waddle. I mean, is that universe even close? It's like truly not even close. You're looking at like a totally different category of player there.
Yeah, I agree. I might need to refresh the mic sign. Switching over.
You go for it. I can carry it while you refresh. So what I have pulled up is I have Hayden's 2025 fantasy football projections versus ADP article, which I think is like a pretty interesting analysis to do because we talk a lot about projected points, right? Hayden and I were just talking about projected points, the difference between Ashton Jeanty and Nico Collins and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And as Hayden was literally just discussing, the drop-off is absolutely massive at running back. You see a huge cliff amongst the running backs. The backs drafted before 84th overall are noticeably better in projections than the running backs drafted in the 96th to 120th overall range, which, if you're thinking about it, of course that makes sense. One, there are only so many teams in the NFL. Teams, generally speaking, give most of their running back points to one guy instead of giving them to two guys. And then wide receivers, again, by and large, a lot of teams are going to have two. Some teams have three. I mean, we have how many 49ers are going inside the top 100 picks in fantasy football. So this is all very intuitive, but a lot of the times people don't draft this way because most starters do soak up 50 to 80% of the running back touches. And then there's a huge drop off. But the difference in the drop off between running backs and wide receivers, I think, is like a smidgen under discussed because wide receivers, particularly on Underdog, on half point PPR, can get there on a really low amount of volume. You're never getting there with a wide receiver on a lower amount of volume, with a running back on a lower amount of volume. Jaylen Warren is not giving you a spike week on 7 touches. It's never, ever happening. But you know who can give you a spike week on 2 touches? Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jaden Reed, Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker. So I do think it is just really, I just think it's very interesting that basically the market kind of bifurcates the running backs and the wide receivers, but they really shouldn't. Hayden, do you think it's true that the running backs being drafted, as you're stating here, from 96 to 120th overall, your Tracy's, your Scadaboos? I would argue those guys are some of the worst, maybe not Tracy and Scadaboo in particular, but the running backs who are being tiered up versus like the true RB2s and handcuffs, I think they're some of the worst picks in the pool. speaking as a 20% Blake Corum drafter last year, it's a really bad way to go about the running back position.
Yeah, I think some of the committee guys, I'm not sure if my mic's any better at this point. Let me know.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, cool.
Don't sweat it.
Yeah, those running backs, it's just they get you like some projected work, but those like you don't want 9 points in your flex. Like you don't want your RB2 to be projected for 11 points. So that kind of like Najee Harris tier, like yeah, like they're going to get you some points, but not enough points. So to me, I would rather wait a little bit. Give me Isaac Guerendo, give me Tyler Algier. I'll take 0 points from these guys until they're averaging 15 to 20. And then like that's like the avenue that I want to play. And like to me, the going up just to the Isaiah Pacheco, like that tier to me, it's only a round or two above. The difference of projected points is pretty substantial. So yeah, my favorite is like the clear RB2s that are priced in like the 140 range. Like Tyler Algier and Isaac Guerendo are kind of that category for me. Like I feel pretty good at those are the twos. They're not giving me any points, but if you invest enough early on, like you don't need those points. Like I would rather have 3 or 4 like running backs in the sweet spot zone, and then kind of finish my drafts off with the Guerendo Algier types. Jalen Wright is another good example.
It's fake safety is what it is. You take Najee Harris, you take Jalen Warren, you take Cam Scatterbo, you take Javonte Williams, and you're like, I'm set, dude. I'm going to get my 11.2 points per week. It's not great, but it's pretty good. But that 11.2, not doing much for you. Yeah, sure. Tyler Algier is going to project on a given week for like 4.2 points or whatever, but their distributions in terms of like over the course of a season are going to be quite close. Actually, probably I would even bet that the distributions for like Algier, Braylon Allen, Roshan Johnson, Isaac Guerendo, those guys' distributions are probably better because they're actually good players. You know, that is such the funny thing about it is that we've seen what a 350 touch season from Najee Harris looks like, or what a 300 touch season from Javonte looks like, and it doesn't look that good.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen a full season of Tracy as a starter, and his ranges were fine. They weren't that good, and now he has like legitimate and Singletary is actually still on the roster, which is such a funny thing that Best Ball Bros are hand waving. But like, I don't know, man. If they don't cut Devin Singletary, he's probably going to play a little bit more than you want him to.
I have drafted some Devin Singletary. He seems like the guy gets traded or cut August 24th and signs with the Cowboys, and then now he's their like clear RB2 or something like that. So that is something. The other thing I wanted to mention on the running back 2 kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I am not in the game of, I don't know if he's the RB2 or RB3, and I'm just like still drafting him 100% of the time. You guys can keep drafting those guys.
Yeah, I'm in that game.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll get in that game when I know that they're the RB2 on August 20th, and then I'll play catch-up mode there. And in the meantime, I'm going to pay the premium and just draft my running backs a little bit ahead. I just think like sometimes when you're like chopping this thing, all right, somebody goes down, and then now it's like a 60-40 backfield. I don't even know how this is going. Like that's just not a game that I'm going to be playing.
So I like that game because that ambiguity just breeds better prices. Like I think probably if you're saying that about like Taj Brooks and Ollie Gordon, I'm fine. Like, I mean, I do take a little bit of Ollie Gordon, but I'm fine with that as a heuristic there. I don't like that heuristic specifically when it comes to the Cowboys and the Jaguars, because like I just want to be getting as many shots on goal for the second and third running backs. Like I take Bigsby and Tootin. I take some of them together. I take Jaden Blue. I take Miles Sanders. I take some of them together. I mean, you know, JJ Zacharyson has done all this research about ambiguous backfields, basically just saying, well, take the cheapest.
My difference would be those guys have a path to RB1s. I'm talking about the guys that like, these are not going to be the RB1s. We can all admit that. Like, can they be the RB2s? I don't know if they're the RB2s. Like you start like doing the math, you're like, all right, there's a 20% chance the RB1 goes down for a big chunk of the season. And then in that 20% outcome, now it's like 50-50. Like now obviously like, right, how much math do I have to do to get this guy right? Where I don't think it's worth it. So there's a bunch of guys in like 16th, 17th, 18th round that I think kind of fall into that category. And that projection chart, I think, does kind of summarize that tier that I'm talking about, where like there's a clear RB2 tier, and then there's another drop off. And now we're getting into, I don't even know if they're going to be the backup running back. And to me, I don't want to be wasting my picks on those like kind of coin flips right now. I'd rather like pay the premium where those guys go up 1-2 rounds late in August when we have a little bit more confirmation of who's who. So yeah.
This is the that's the Yoshi Boss thing, right? Is Yoshi Boss was undrafted, got locked into being wide receiver 3, and was still a good pick. And yes, just not going to say the name Brashard Smith because I don't even want to hear what Hayden has to say about it. All right, so the next drop off is pretty massive at the wide receiver position. Guys drafted in the top. I mean, this is exactly what we're saying. Wide receivers drafted in the top 20 overall picks are absolute smashes. Underdog drafters are the biggest slappies on earth. So they say that sign is not going to stop me because I can't read. I'm just going to keep on jamming these wide receivers up. But then obviously the really interesting thing is that the wide receiver line keeps coming. The people just keep drafting the wide receivers. You guys can look at this purple line here and you basically see it is a straight descent down. Even as projected points decrease, underdog drafters are saying, dude, I love Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking? What do you mean I can't draft Josh Downs as the wide receiver 45? What do you mean I can't draft Rashid Shaheed? What do you mean I can't draft Marvin Mims? Which is just like it's one of those things where, of course, from a median perspective, we can agree with this. But you do have to start 3. I mean, that ultimately is the conundrum on Underdog, is that running backs are better fits for the scoring. Running backs are better picks at the top of the board. But you need the wide receiver points because you have to start 3.
Yeah, so like what the data showed for all 5 years, it's 3 wide receivers through round 6. That makes sense. That's your starting guys that you're banking on. And then it's 4 or 5 wide receivers through round 10. So I just think there's like probably too many teams that have a 6th, or I mean, I've seen some crazy teams where they have like 7 wide receivers by round 10. Like that is like completely overdoing it. I was also kind of thinking about this. I wonder if there's also like an over investment in the flex where if you have like all your top 10 picks are all running backs and wide receivers, where you're like guaranteeing like you're going to be leaving points on your bench. So yeah, I do think these balance builds do make a lot of sense to me. And I think like right now, you got to get some wide receivers really early on. But I think there's that the dead zones flip where I think once again, the running backs are great clicks in there. And then once you kind of fall off into that next tier, kind of circle back. And there was a lot of breakouts like last year in that tier, the Jerry Jeudy, Darnell Mooney tier, and like the 120s, 130s, 140s. That was a really good spot for wide receiver points. Like Adam Thielen was kind of buried in there as well. So yeah, you're not going to get a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 season out of that tier, but you can certainly ping pong wide receiver 3 weeks in that tier. So that's something that I kind of pay attention to.
Yes, you're definitely right. And then the big thing is the tight ends, right? I mean, this was one of the coolest things that I think you found, which is that of course there is a drop off to some degree at tight end, but the biggest thing is that the tight ends after 100th overall just straight up project better. Tucker Kraft is projecting better than the guys around there. Does that lean you more towards 3 tight end builds?
Yeah, for sure. Now we did take a little bit of a hit with Jonnu Smith taking out Pat Freiermuth and himself. So that was like 2 of the kind of prime targets there. So that's a little bit concerning. But in general, just best ball, like tight end position is the position that has the most weekly variance because it produces the fewest amount of receptions and total yards. So they're reliant on touchdowns. And because we're just taking your best scores, the position that has the most variance in it, you want just like a little bit more investment in it. And if they're also now projected to hit your flex on occasion, I think that's advantageous. So I like Brock Bowers, for example, like going all the way back up, same thing with Trey McBride. I like them in redraft more because like you have to like set your lineups and like it's harder to play this ping pong week in redraft. If you have 2 tight ends, like you're always just going to get that decision wrong. And then also the PPR makes the Brock Bowers, Trey McBride tier separate versus all these kind of touchdown reliant guys. So I think that the tight end position is really dependent on the format. So like full PPR redraft, love Brock Bowers, Trey McBride. In half PPR best ball, especially in the environment where a lot of these tight ends project pretty well, I kind of go that route. And I also like still mix in like a Brock Bowers and my round 17, 18 picks are both tight ends. I think like even that's still a viable build just because those guys are going to like hit your flex on occasion. And you also want to play that game of kind of ping ponging throughout the best ball playoffs. So Yeah, I think they're good picks later on for sure.
Where do you lean on two versus three? Like, are you liking taking Theo Johnson and Juwan Johnson?
Oh yeah, those guys. I really like Chico Okonkwo. I think that Steven Sanders is interesting. Yeah, I mean, all those guys, like, look at the wide receivers you're drafting. Like, most of these guys are like literally projected to be the fourth wide receiver on the team. And most wide receiver threes on a team do absolutely nothing. Like, half the league's wide receiver threes don't do shit because we're just seeing more 12 personnel. We're just seeing fewer downfield shots. And a lot of the third wide receivers on these teams are the downfield shot guys. Like, they're just like running big clear out routes, and like quarterbacks aren't throwing those against too high shells anymore. So yeah, I do think that 3 tight end builds in general are going to be better than 2 tight end builds. There's obviously you can do some 2 tight end builds depending on who the top 2 guys are, but yeah, in general, I'll just scoop up the projected points until the prices change.
All right, the biggest story right now amongst the absolute sweatiest virgins on the internet is the 3 quarterback stuff. Quarterback ADP across the board, it's up. I suppose actually for like the 4 elite guys, it's actually not up that much, but everyone else is up. Daniel Jones, Tyler Shuck, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, all these guys ADPs are up like 10%. Like they're up a ton. Couple things going into that. I mean, the first one being Sacrilegious and Pat Curran and our friends over at Legendary Upside did their sim of the season, and they have now updated their automated real-time assistance tool with those sims, and it basically just tells you all the time, take a third quarterback. You don't have enough projected points at quarterback, or you're going to add more points to your lineup with a third quarterback than you are with Chimere Dike or Brashard Smith or whatever. Your analysis basically found the same thing, which is at the quarterback position, super flat behind Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. There's a 36-point difference between the top 4 quarterbacks and quarterback 5, Joe Burrow, which highlights the fact that Burrow is like, I mean, he's probably the most overdrafted guy in the entire pool. But I find this idea really interesting, and I think it's probably more true with third quarterbacks being more expensive, that the elite quarterback ones are undervalued, and I think both are true. I think Allen, Hurts, Lamar, Daniels are undervalued, and I also think what that sim analysis found is that like Rodgers and Dart and these guys are undervalued as well.
Yeah, I think every single quarterback's undervalued. So the 2 metrics I've been looking at for like forever, and I've been a quarterback investment guy, is fantasy points over replacement. I've measured that every single year in the half PPR scoring, and all the quarterbacks just finish higher than where they were drafted in overall. So that's of interest to me. And then the second thing is diminishing returns. And I don't think that people have grasped like what the 8th wide receiver on your team, like if he's hitting your lineup, like that means like so many of your early picks have stunk. And then
we're bad.
Yes. And people are over investing into the flex position. And it's more likely that your third quarterback is going to add points. And there's also a lot of scenarios just talking about the ping pong effect throughout each slate of the tournament, is like Lamar Jackson can miss 4 games and like hurt your advance rate and then come back for the playoffs. And like you want that Lamar Jackson team to be very much alive. And then also if you'll have 2 quarterbacks and one of them is Lamar Jackson, and Lamar finishes the quarterback 1 overall and the quarterback 1 overall in weeks 15 and 16, you're going to want a second and third quarterback to kind of differentiate, because a lot of the ownership overlap in the week 17 finals is going to be there. But the big point is just that the fantasy points over replacement projection for every single one of these quarterbacks is substantial versus the wide receiver 4s, some of these running back 3s that we're drafting, some of these kind of like really low end tight ends, where it's hard. Like Aaron Rodgers is going to hit your lineup a couple times versus the Titans wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. Like we have no idea what the Titans wide receiver rotation is. We know that Aaron Rodgers is going to be providing some fantasy points. So yeah, this one to me is like, was the least shocking thing to come out of these sims that I'm hearing about, is that the quarterbacks are underpriced. Like to me, they add a lot of points over replacement. They're bankable. And then you got a lot of the stacking elements where like you want the quarterback stacked up as well. So I think adding a third quarterback stack is like, to me, very obvious. And I think that Russell Wilson, Anthony Richardson, all these guys, these kind of quarterback 1-2 tier, I think all of them should be getting drafted. Cam Ward should go up. Sam Darnold should go up. Aaron Rodgers should go up. And then also like any of these elite wide receiver or elite quarterbacks in round 4 versus some like where the wide receiver drop off has started. Like, to me, it's like you have to be drafting Lamar and Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. So everybody undervalued.
That's one of my biggest changes in strategy this year from last year has just been, I was not really an elite quarterback guy. Like just the top 5 guy. And even in like the big board, I was not taking the quarterbacks. I was taking a ton of Dart. I was actually taking a ton of Milrow. That one from the big board is not going to end up working out. Now, obviously, what the people at home are screaming as they listen to this on replay or on podcast or whatever is, yeah, but what about Puka and what about Kyron? Every time you take Aaron Rodgers, every time you take Jackson Dart, you're waving the white flag. You're saying, Either I don't think Puka and Kyron exist, or I don't think I'm sharp enough to find them. So how do you feel about that? About the rates of trying to discover that, the value of what it's worth versus like the advance rate boost of the third quarterback?
Well, there's a couple things there. One, there are late round quarterbacks that have been very, very relevant in fantasy with proven upside. So they're obviously not going to be turned into Puka and Kyron, but they can. I mean, Bo Nix last year. We've had some other breakout quarterbacks previously. The second thing is it's only one pick. Like, you can still find your Pukas and Kyrons with the other. We're just talking about the difference of one pick. And then the other thing is, what about when you have Kyron Williams you found Kyron Williams in round 16, but your quarterback won that season, missed a chunk of it, and now you couldn't advance that damn team because you didn't have enough quarterback depth. So I think that you're actually like getting yourself into the fantasy playoffs because of that third quarterback, where you actually can use those Puka and Kyron points. So, and then the other big thing is like the hit rates on these guys. Like, yeah, it's so low. So I think that the Sims, even acknowledging that there's going to be some Puka teams, but I think the best Puka team from that year would still have a third quarterback, and then you just like, instead of wasting your pick on some other scrub, you just drafted the Aaron Rodgers of that season, the Sam Darnold of that season.
Yeah. All right. And then you wrote an article on my absolute favorite topic, and then we can discuss this a little bit, and then we can get into a draft. Don't be dumb when you draft a 0 running back team in 2025. Look, if there's one thing that underdog drafters love to do, they absolutely love to draft 0 running back teams. They like to show you a little screenshot of 7 straight wide receivers, then a quarterback, then TJ Hawkinson, and then finally you take Jalen Moore and Aaron Jones or Zach Charbonnet as your running back 1. In 0 running back, I mean, I think we should be pretty clear. When 0 running back works, it is clearly the easiest way to build a super team in fantasy. Nothing is going to supercharge you more than finding highly projected wide receivers and then lucking into a running back season, because wide receivers don't really break out. It's very abnormal because running back points, Kyron Williams, can be given as opposed to being earned, whereas wide receiver points can't really be given. They have to be earned. But as Hayden notes at the beginning of this article, all of you guys, see, this is what you think. No, you're all drafting too many 0 running back teams. You were starting way too many teams. Puka, Drake London, and then Garrett Wilson. You just, and not to say you shouldn't do it, and not to say you should never do it, and not to say that can't win, but the degree to which you are doing those builds versus the degree to which you're doing the other thing. How many times have you seen an underdog drafter go Christian McCaffrey, Devin Achane, Breece Hall? You certainly see the former more than you see the latter. But honestly, I think this is the biggest point, which is people just actually don't realize the discrepancy of half PPR versus full PPR.
Yeah. And really, it just comes down to the flex and winning with running backs in the flex more often than people are drafting for that in mind. So, yeah, the rise in popularity, I believe it's a 5x increase from 2021 to last year in 0 RB. And there's different ways to define that, but 5x increase. Now, last year, that strategy got completely buried. So I would be surprised if people do it quite as often. I draft a couple 0 RB teams, but it's like when the draft board just kind of shaped itself where a wide receiver fell or I got sniped, But yeah, like the community is so strong here.
This is just such a funny, great piece of writing, Hayden. There's a whole zero RB community out there, and they're ride or die. And yes, the bits are beautiful.
They really are.
And we're right in the middle of puppy season right now. So you want wide receiver points, you better be ready to pay for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is interesting. Whenever we release a puppy, this community absolutely floods the lobbies, and they draft the same exact type of team. So you can like literally see that the wide receiver ADPs will like go up, the rookie ADPs will go up. So I think the bottom is in for the rookies, just because we released these puppies. But yeah, so in general, I'd still draft a couple zero RB teams. I just think that the way people are drafting those teams has been incorrect, especially in this half PPR scoring. So like if the draft falls to you and the wide receivers have been the best picks early on, and an elite quarterback was sitting there, or an elite tight end was sitting there, and you wanted to build that way, like to me, the point of this column was, okay, the first 5 rounds just fell into your lap. It's a zero RB team. Now what? And I think a lot of the data is kind of convincing.
Yeah. All right. Explain this graph that I'm looking at right here, please.
Yeah, just the zero running back, the blue, and then the red. Those are like the two zero RB teams. Like the one's like more extreme version, the red, and then the blue is just like a regular zero RB, which I think is just no running backs from the first 5 rounds. If you look at it from 2021, it was like 6-7%, and then this last year it was like 35%. We're talking about like a 5x increase in how many teams are drafting zero RB, and I think with that, the wide receivers have gone up over those last 4 or 5 seasons. The running back prices have come down. So now when you're trying to win that flex zone, that's kind of when you're building out these teams, round 3 through round 8 or 9 is the flex zone. Right now, a lot of the best picks in the flex zone to me are running backs. So I think like that's kind of like the weakness of this strategy. But at the same time, you can not draft a running back in the first 5 rounds and then actually absolutely hammer it in round 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you kind of win back it. So that's what this column's going for.
Yes, and you all hit on another key point here, which is that the more people that are doing zero running back, the worse the strategy is. And the biggest thing, and a bunch of people have hit on this. Jacob Sanderson wrote a great article about this. Gretsch has noted this in Stealing Signals, which is that a few years ago, the running back 24 was being drafted ahead of the wide receiver 36. The projected points, the famous, stream, the famous ship chasing, when they realized, like, if the slappy community was being objective, which they're not going to be, so don't hold your breath. But if they were being objective, they would be happy to draft Joe Mixon ahead of Juwan Jennings. They really would, right? And I'm not doing it. You guys at home probably aren't doing it. I would guess Hayden even still is like, I don't know, man, Juwan Jennings, he had a 50-point game. Like, I want to draft some of that guy. But the fact of the matter is that the thing that used to be true, which was that the fantasy football market was inefficient and was featured a lot of bad players going not only way ahead of where they should have like theoretically gone for their range of outcomes, but just way ahead of their projected points. The example that I always go in my head was Jordan Howard was a 2nd-round pick once upon a time for the Chicago Bears, like a bad Chicago Bears team, didn't really catch passes. I think he scored like 9 touchdowns his 2nd year or something, and got way super boosted in average draft position. And it's just like, that would, I mean, Joe Mixon actually is the perfect example. Guy absolutely smashed last year, caught more passes than we thought he was going to, was used as a goal line rusher. The team theoretically should probably be better on offense this year, despite the offensive line literally ranking 32 out of 32, but the wide receiver group is going to be much better. But because he's 29 and we don't really like him, he's just like, okay, well, yeah, you're going to be a 6th-round pick, which is just, it is not an objective way to play the game.
Right. Well, I think people look at running backs as what is the downside.
Yes.
But the rest of the conversation about every other position is we're shooting for upside. Well, look at the running backs in round 5 and round 6. If they just have the exact same season as last year, it's a total print fest. So to me, like the biggest discrepancy is look at those round 4 wide receivers. We're talking about like a lot of theoretical upside in those round 4 wide receivers versus the round 5 running backs. I think those ADPs should just like flip. Like Devontae Smith should not be going ahead of these like running backs that project really good in their 50th percentile, 80th percentile, 100th percentile outcome. And I think a lot of these kind of wide receivers around 4, it just like does not make a whole lot of sense. And like this was not true many years ago when the dead zone running backs did exist. And some of these round 5 running backs I'm talking about, they will be bust. Like Joe Mixon could theoretically get replaced or injured, or same thing with Alvin Kamara or Chuba Hubbard. But when they hit, they are like stone cold smashes. We literally just saw it the season prior. So like, I just don't get why we obsess about the downside risk with these running backs in an environment where upside is the only thing that matters. So I just think that people are like kind of biased against this position. And I think that the round 4 wide receivers versus the round 5 running backs, like to me, that's like the big difference in the points to me.
That you literally just summarized fantasy football. All the slappies see when they view a running back as the downside. They say, well, he could get hurt. He could have this inefficiency. He could be old. He could get replaced by this young guy who has not failed me yet. And then when they see a wide receiver, they go, oh my God. But can you imagine if he's good?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, I mean, obviously the great one here is Travis Hunter, right? Where it's like, objectively speaking, there are a lot of reasons to not really be that in on Travis Hunter. Now, obviously, I love Travis Hunter. I have Travis Hunter ranked ahead of ADP. I take him all the time. Outliers are going to outlier. Now, part of that is actually the slappies sort of hitting at a truth, which is that ceiling is a little bit more important at wide receiver, and it's not as available later in the draft, right? Like Byshell Tootin could be the 9th highest scoring running back in the NFL. He could. I mean, it's pretty unlikely, but like if things go a little way, he definitely could. De'Ami Brown, there's no universe. We could travel through 9 billion. By the way, I don't know this to be true, but I'm going to guess Josh Norris is drafting De'Ami Brown like aggressively. Like
every single show we have De'Ami Brown saved. I mean, this is the Zay Jones. I mean, these guys always hit Davis. I need to say it. These guys are always adding some damn points.
Yeah. I mean, I have my 8.3% De'Ami Brown, but he is the worst actual NFL player that has ever been foisted upon me as a member of the community. But yeah, I mean, really at the end of the day, it is this. Dude, you can't take Kamara. He's going to lose his job to Kendre. You can't take Derrick Henry. Keaton Mitchell is going to get in there. You can't take Joe Mixon because Woody Marks is going to play on third downs. You know, you can't take and it goes on and on and on, right? I mean, that is that's just how it goes, you know.
I think somebody in the chat pretty much summed up, and I did write about it. A lot of people would rather be right in style than just right more often, because it feels good. Like when you win as a contrarian, you're not only did you win the money, you also outsmarted everybody, and you can like point and laugh, and that feels so good. The dopamine rush is so real. And people are kind of chasing that. They want to be like proven to be the smartest in the community, not just the person that won the money. But also just think like, look at like week 17 last year, the wide receivers, Marvin Mims was a wide receiver 4, Thielen, wide receiver 6, Pearsall, wide receiver 8, Alec Pierce, wide receiver 11, McMillan, wide receiver 12, Olamide Zaccheaus, wide receiver 14, Naylor 17. Like you do get like random spike weeks at wide receiver. It's not as sustainable. But that's why you draft the 6th and 7th one. You're kind of like playing the ping pong effect. Darnell Mooney was a good pick. Juwan Jennings. So there's plenty of examples of wide receivers not breaking out and being a wide receiver 1, but at the same time, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, these guys were really late picks, and now they're like absolute superstars in fantasy. So yeah, it's less likely, but it's still possible to hit a total nut outcome in the double-digit rounds at wide receiver.
All right, so if you demand to do it, you got to figure out how many wide receivers to draft through certain points in the draft. 4 wide receivers through round 6, I think is pretty mandatory. I actually am wondering your take on this. I absolutely love to do elite tight end or elite quarterback with a 0 running back build because you really don't want to be weekly losing to your opponents at 3 positions. You do not want to be like, even if you're smashing them at wide receiver, it's really nice to be able to pull out, a 27 from Trey McBride or a 33 from Josh Allen. So a lot of the times for me, if I'm doing a 0 running back build, it is going to be with Bowers, with McBride, with Kittle, with Hurts, with Daniels, with 4 wide receivers through 6, 5 wide receivers through round 10, 6 wide receivers. I try, actually, something I've been doing a lot this year that I've not done in years before, as we get to this draft of when it was optimal to draft running backs in 2022, is I've even been doing some 8 running back teams. I actually just drafted one for a video that's going to be out on Sunday on this channel, where I didn't take a running back until Jordan Mason. I was kind of trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
And I took 8 because I was like, Matthew Golden is my wide receiver 6. If Matthew Golden and whoever my wide receiver 5 was suck, this team is stone dust 12th out of 12 anyway. A 7th wide receiver is really not doing anything for me here.
Well, I would just say that Matthew Golden as your wide receiver 6 is doing nothing, because if he is adding points to your lineup, there goes your 2nd pick, your 3rd pick, your 4th pick. So I think people are over investing in.
No, ping-ponging weeks.
It's a big ping pong. It's a big ping pong bag. And by the way, the wide receiver 1s and wide receiver 2s, they aren't like week to week guys. Like, there's not like a whole lot of volatility. Like, they're either like the wide receiver 3 or the wide receiver 1 in a week. Like, you have to use these bankable targets that you're talking about. So yeah, I'm with you. You need elite quarterback. You need elite tight end on these teams if you're going 0 RB, because there's just a huge diminishing returns to the wide receivers. So luckily we've had in 2022 and 2023, we're talking about like 2 like the best like all-time 0 RB years. So we have the data exactly like on what the best like teams look like. And in both of those seasons, you wanted your first running back through round 7. Like, there was just like no point. And I think that goes back to like the starting lineup. Like, you can have 4 or 5 wide receivers. Most of those weeks are going to be hitting your lineup. But you add that 6th in the top 10, and like, all right, now at best, 2 of these top 6 guys are on my bench, and a lot of the times it's going to even be a 3rd one because another position is going to hit your flex. So I think there's just an over investment into the wide receiver, an over investment into the flex position, and I think that's why you want to mix in an elite quarterback and elite tight end in these builds. And I think that the 5 wide receivers through round 10 is like pretty important there, just because I think a lot of people are drafting a 6th, 7th wide receiver, and that is just like way overkill. You got to assume that you're right at some point.
Yeah, you absolutely have to assume that you're right at some point. It's kind of the name of the game. I mean, you know what? Honestly, that's actually probably relatively good advice in general, which is just like you need to assume you're right. More like going into every team and saying, well, just in case I'm wrong, I should take this, or just in case I'm wrong. Like, each individual team sort of lives, in its own universe, and you should draft as if you were in that metaverse instead of living in another one.
For example, last year, Chase Brown and Bucky Irving, you could have done a complete 0 RB team with those 2 guys and absolutely hit on them. And then you would have a really good chance to make a lot of money in the playoffs.
But that team wouldn't have advanced because it had Rashee Rice on it.
100%.
So it was dead.
What I'm saying, like, Joe Mixon or Alvin Kamara plus those guys looks a whole lot better than the true 0 RB team. Like, would on those teams, would you have traded a wide receiver for Joe Mixon to make sure you get to the playoffs? Hell yes. So I think
I would have traded. I would have turned in all my Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy for Joe Mixon. Tough scenes. All right, we are in a Best Ball Mania draft room. We are drafting at the 1.6, and we are not going to take a running back, obviously, until round 10, right? I mean, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Where are you at on Puka?
I mean, I think I have him ranked at ADP. Yeah, I have him ranked 7th. I'm fine to just take whatever the room gives me with CMC versus Puka. I did have McCaffrey ranked over Puka for a while, but then I was doing like the exposure check, and I had 18% McCaffrey and 4% Puka. And I was like, even if that is like the Nash equilibrium of how players should be drafted, I don't have the stones to go into the season with, 2,000 teams, with that being my distribution.
Yeah, I think the guy that makes me the most nervous in like the early part of round 1 is Justin Jefferson. The Vikings are 21st in projected points right now. The quarterback vibes over there, it's pretty bad. Like, they talk about JJ McCarthy like he's got some issues. So
no,
I don't know.
Come on, that's great. Wow. Okay. Gibbs, Puka, McCaffrey. I don't care.
Let's do Puka. Let's do a version of 0 RB unless like the ADP just falls.
No, so I am not worried about Justin Jefferson or I mean, maybe I'm like a smidgen concerned about the Vikings. I would say it's totally possible that the team wins 8 games and that they decide JJ McCarthy is not the franchise quarterback, and Justin Jefferson actually has a better fantasy season this year than he had last year. Yeah. Jefferson had a bunch of games with like 8 targets or 7 targets because the defense was really good. They were a positive PROE team, but it was because they were just not in a ton of shootouts. They were not in a ton of very friendly scripts. And it's also this really interesting thing with Jefferson where he has been so awesome, but he actually doesn't have like the giga mega nukes that Chase has had.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is due to lack of ability. I basically just think that's variance and how he's played. I think if you outright have that concern about McCarthy and the Vikings, the one who goes to 0 is Addison, because there is not enough meat on the bone. Like if you're getting Nick Mullins level play from JJ McCarthy, which I would like, that's like what, like the 40th percentile outcome is that he's just able to be Nick Mullins.
Well, I think the difference though is the play calling style. And JJ McCarthy was like under center, balanced approach at Michigan. They add 3 interior offensive linemen. They add Jordan Mason. They re-sign their blocking tight end. To me, it could be one of these teams that just like takes a hit in the pass rate over expectation because of the style quarterback that they have, which is like a play action, throw the ball over the middle style versus like Sam Darnold throw the ball over the top. Nick Mullins run around, be a maniac because the defense wasn't very good during that time. So, I think there's going to be a little bit of a philosophy change. I think the air yards are going to come way down for the offense and stuff. Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in the league. It's him and Chase, obviously. But so I don't know, like that many concerns. But like for him to be the consensus 2, to me, it's a little rich.
Bowers, Ladd.
Let's do Bowers. Yeah, let's do Bowers.
Yeah. This is that's a start.
Yep.
We love this start. It's probably one of my, honestly, Puka, Bowers, Gibbs, Bowers, McCaffrey Bowers is so OP, man. It's nice. So OP. Yeah.
I mean, it feels so stacked. Like, I mean, there's like 15, 16 guys that you can make a case should go round 1 in like any other year. Like to me, you feel so good about the first 15, 20. And like even like the Ladd McConkey, Rashee Rice, T. Higgins guys, Josh Jacobs, John Taylor, like I feel great about those. Like it seems like we got.
I think there's a pretty big drop off after Rashee and after Jonathan Taylor. I think that is like a clear tier break. That's my take.
Possibly T. Higgins and Tyreek Hill though, and Jacobs and like those guys have
T. Higgins and Tyreek have non-injury floors that are bad though.
Correct. Like for sure.
Yeah. So whereas I'm like, dude, if Ladd stays healthy, he like is worst case finishing wide receiver 16 probably. T. Higgins could be healthy and finish wide receiver 25 if he just runs bad on touchdowns.
Yeah, he was also wide receiver 3 per game last year though.
He's very good. He's a very good player.
Yeah,
very good player. I'm not nagging. Well, I am nagging T. Higgins a little bit.
Well, like last year, like the round 2, it's like Marvin Harrison as a rookie in a balanced offense. Drake London with Kirk Cousins who can't move. Like I'm blanking on the rest of them. The 49ers wide receivers, all these guys like were missing training camp. I don't know. Seems bad.
Give me your guy here.
I'll do elite quarterback or one of the running backs. Any of them.
We'll do Josh Allen. You know what's funny is a lot of my Josh Allen builds come when he falls, when he gets over to like sometimes you can get him on this term, but sometimes you can get him at like 38, 39. So I would guess this is my first Best Ball Mania team that has Bowers and Allen on it together. Maybe I have it in a puppy or a chihuahua or a super doodle or whatever. But that's pretty overpowered. And we are going to be obviously like we're going to be behind at projected wide receiver points on this team, but we'll have lots of bullets to make it up because we can probably get away with just taking 2 quarterbacks if we want.
Yeah, I think like the big fall off is the mid part of round 3. I think that's when the wide receivers, running backs, I think do take a pretty big hit. And that's when I slide into you.
Imagine telling your wife that you were taking Terry McLaurin over Josh Allen. Like, imagine trying to be like, yeah, I needed to get, the VORP was too big. So I just had to take Terry McLaurin, the most career ass wide receiver 22 player who's ever existed of all time over Josh Allen.
Well, I'll even throw in like JSN. Like that's gonna be like one of the most run heavy teams in the league with Sam Darnold, who does not like to throw the ball underneath. Marvin Harrison needs to be like twice as good to pay off this ADP. Garrett Wilson dealing with Justin Fields, Devontae Adams. He's my favorite of the bunch of those guys, but he's also an older guy changing teams. So yeah, like it's a layup line with Josh Allen, Lamar, Jayden. Like, I don't know. I'll figure out my wide receiver points in a second. I'm not convinced that these wide receivers in rounds 5.
The thing is I'm not convinced that I should ever take JSN over Xavier Worthy, who's like a way better fit for the scoring system. I mean, obviously I'm an unreliable narrator as it pertains to Xavier Worthy, but I've yet to hear an argument that really makes me feel bullish about any Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, look at the most recent comment. Marvin Harrison sandwiched between the last 2 MVPs. I mean, like, right.
I like DJ Moore. I like Metcalf a little bit. JMO is my favorite here, but whatever you want.
I'm indifferent. I think all these guys are whatever.
We don't really.
Also a decent pick too. Just get some.
James Cook with Josh.
I think it's pretty good.
I think that's slightly negative correlation, not for full season, but for single week. For like week 17, I think that's slightly negative.
I think it's probably like no correlation in a single. I don't think it's probably negative or that positive. Yeah. I think he's fine. Yeah. I think he's a good projected points guy. But DJ Moore's got proven upside as well.
Well, I was thinking one nice thing about that wide receiver pick there is so like at 91 and 104, we actually don't have to care about taking Caleb Williams or Jared Goff or whatever. So just take whoever. I mean, Moore obviously is like kind of never really happened for him. He did have the one wide receiver 7 season, but like DJ Moore had the ability and probably doesn't anymore. He's probably just enough past his athletic peak, but he could have, when he was like 25, been the number 1 scoring wide receiver in fantasy football. It just never quite happened for him. So it is nice to be able to get him in the 4th round.
It reminds me of Debo. Like that's exactly how he plays.
He's just not fat. He's
jacked Debo. Like
Debo who takes care, dude.
Cardio Debo.
That I honestly wish I would have not seen the Debo running clip because I just can't. Every time I go to move him up in my rankings, I'm like, dude, are you serious?
I know.
What is going on, man?
He's always
it's
kind
crazy.
of pudgy. He's just like one of those guys.
Okay, this range is brutal. I think we probably take a running back here.
100. This range is not brutal. These are literally the best picks on the board. Any of these running backs, Chuba, Kenneth Walker, any of them, you name it.
I'm gonna take Kamara because he's the classic chaperone running back. The reason why that range sucks is after Ridley and Hunter and Pickens go, a lot of my teams are needing a wide receiver at this spot because I generally have one running back to this point. And a lot of the times I feel like the sidekick actually normally is telling me I need a wide receiver there. And I don't know, man. This is probably more of a me thing than a him thing. But like, Zay Flowers and half PPR on a non-Lamar team is a tough click for me.
Yeah, I think he's like at best fine. How is Zay Flowers going to be the 10th overall player? Alvin Kamara and Joe Mixon were just that. The back half of the season, Chuba Hubbard was a top 15, top 20 overall asset. Kenneth Walker in spurts has been an absolute smash. So like to me, the green in round 5 is just as good as it gets.
No, the running backs in round 5 are strong. They're like some of the best like projected picks versus ADP on the board, but it's just a lot of my team because of I'm doing the structural thing of starting a lot of my teams with 1 or 2. I mean, if you're on the right side of the board, sometimes 2 running backs. Sometimes you have A-Chain and Brees, and
you can have a 3rd running back in the 5th round. It has worked, and it's actually worked extremely well. They're hitting your lineups. If they stay healthy, they hit your lineups. Like I don't know, man. Like if this is just the game that we're playing and the projected points are at running back, like let's just draft those projected points. We'll be fine. We need Puka. We need DJ Moore to be studs. And we'll ping pong the wide receiver threes with last year's Darnell Mooney's, Jordan Addison's, Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall's. Like we're gonna jam it in, figure out who our wide receiver three is going to be, and we'll see who falls at the board right here. But to me, like Alvin Kamara and these guys, and going with another running.
I was going to say we actually are running a little hot here because I think there's going to be a wide receiver. Like Debo going there at 62 is a little bit of a gift. Burrow going at 61 for no reason on the right side of the board. You don't see that all that often.
Right.
Is a little bit of a gift. Okay. I was going to say Olave.
Yeah.
Whichever one here though. I don't care.
This was kind of a tier break. I'm interested in Judy. Yeah, it'd be Judy for me, I think here.
I think Judy fits this build pretty good because we are actually we are a little bit behind. I'd say normally I would take Addison, but he's a pretty bad fit for this team. Yeah. People want to know the Hayden take on Travis Hunter. So the floor is yours on Travis Hunter.
Draft him in best ball. I think in redraft he's going to be a pain in the ass, man. I think that this like idea that he's going to play a lot more corner in some games and less wide receiver in other games is kind of true. Yeah, he's so damn good. Liam Cohen is so damn good. Like specifically like this, where both those guys win as play caller and player overlap perfectly. So yeah, everyone kind of I think has this summed up right, that even if he is 75% route participant throughout the year, he's just going to get schemed at the ball on those 75% of the things. Like I think that he's going to be like a targets per route, yards per route legend, even if he's not like out there for every single snap. So I think that his floor is a little bit higher than people.
Dude, he's going to be you nailed it. He is so going to be the yards per route run king. Yeah, like people are going to be like they're going to be citing his yards per route run numbers like crazy. Yeah. That's so funny.
I think this price tag makes sense. And if you're drafting one redraft team and you don't want to do the Travis Hunter thing, I think that's going to make a lot of sense because you're going to have to like do a lot of homework on the Travis Hunter stuff, on figuring out, okay, why is he playing corner? Why is he playing receiver this week? You know,
we can take Pollard here if you want. But I think this is kind of a big tier break at wide receiver.
Yeah. I'm fine with going with Ricky I like Ricky.
There we go. Yeah. It's funny. I don't even really think Ricky is that good, but I just think he's a good structural bet to make. Like he's a first round wide receiver playing on a really efficient offense with a quarterback I think is good, with a genius play caller and the easiest schedule in the NFL. And then so that all works. And then everything else about him, like really not a good NFL player and wasn't a particularly good college player either. But other than that, it's totally fine with Ricky Pearsall.
He was a really interesting watch. I watched him for a show, and his feel for zone coverage was like horrific. I was like actually shocked because like most slot wide receivers have like a good feel for that, and then he would just like absolutely lap dudes against man coverage. So he's kind of an interesting player, but I like those type of profiles a little bit more because I think you learn how to sit in zone coverage as you play more, and it makes sense if he wasn't out there for training camp that he's like not on the same page with Brock Purdy, but at the same time against man coverage, like he is this big. So like the ball has got to be put like right on the money for it to like actually matter. Like he can create some separation stuff, but when things get contested, he's just not going to be a big asset there. So I think that his upside case is kind of capped. But in this offense, like that doesn't really matter. Like he can be the wide receiver 20 this season if things break this way.
Did that make you higher on Jennings watching that stuff?
Yeah, Jennings is just like zone coverage beast, you know. I'm out on the Ayuk stuff. I think it makes it easier when I'm not really feeling the Ayuk vibes right now, so I'll just take.
No, I'm not feeling the guy who signed a contract extension and then the rumor started like 3 days later they wanted to trade him. Yeah. It's just
it was so bad. And then like this offseason, like he did not even have a knee, and they're like, anybody want him? Like he like literally couldn't even pass a physical, and like he was still in trade talks. Like man,
Why did the Patriots have no money they have no one to spend money on? They should just trade for him.
Yeah, I think the vibes are off there.
Aaron Jones is a nice little faller here, or wide receiver. I don't care. It's up to you.
Jones or B-Rob for me here. Yeah.
Oh,
80 points.
Aaron Jones after Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason goes at 89. We take Aaron Jones at 91. I know we've all determined that Jordan Mason is the greatest running back 2 pick of all time. You know, it's all lined up. He's going to score 1 billion touchdowns. Aaron Jones is 30. He's had the lower body injuries. Like, I can't find one dissenting opinion on Jordan Mason. I can't find one guy to be like, Jordan Mason stinks. Where is that guy? Where's the guy who doesn't like Jordan Mason?
Everybody knows ball. Jordan Mason's good.
He is. Well, you know what's funny is he's. I was gonna say he's another guy who is just like the most mediocre prospect of all time.
He's kind of like a Pacheco, runs hard.
Yep.
Nice build on him. Vision comes and goes. Can kind of do everything, but nothing exceptional. We like.
He's what he is he's not fast at all. I just downloaded some clips of him the other day because I was making YouTube shorts, and every clip he gets caught from behind. Every last one, he gets about 40 yards down the field, and a linebacker catches up with him.
Yeah, Pacheco's like interesting because he is like time fast, but I think he gets so juiced in the games that he like starts stomping around and doesn't play as fast as like his.
He hates the ground, dude.
Yeah.
Well, what he is he's really good from point A to point B, but he's not as good from point B to point C.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's how it goes.
Yep.
All right. So we are at 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end, Josh Allen, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Puka Nacua, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Ricky Pearsall, and Brock Bowers.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good. I guess, dang, I was going to say this is our Keon Coleman pick, but he went. And we also, by the way, I'll stand by taking Ricky Pearsall over Khalil Shakir. I don't have any interest in Khalil Shakir, really.
I mean, yeah, we can survive without the 48 yards per game.
All right, we are up. I mean, I think this is definitely Michael Pittman Jr. or Jayden Higgins. I would do Tracy though, actually.
Let's do Pittman or Higgins, and then I think we can kind of like really like take the temperature off of wide receiver, and then just the next picks are almost all going to be.
Yeah. I'm going to go Jayden Higgins because I've lived the Michael Pittman Jr. experience. Michael Pittman Jr., another guy where it's like, man, you just got to realize that even in his best case season, this is half point PPR. Do you like Jayden Higgins?
Oh yeah. I gave him like a early round 2 grade, classic outside receiver, not like super fast, but kind of contested. He actually reminds me of Michael Pittman, ironically, and they both went 34th overall. So I think that's the type of profile you're getting. And I think he's going to be almost a full-time player immediately. So everyone seems to love him. Like the other like weird thing right now is like all the 2nd round picks have not signed their contracts. Like time taking the training camp. Jayden Higgins has. And the reason he has, because he got a fully guaranteed contract at the 34th overall pick. So I think whoever went 36 is now trying to get a fully guaranteed contract because 34th and 35th overall did. So now they're like playing this game of like how far down the line can we go. So that's like one thing to just kind of keep your eye out is are these 2nd rounders going to actually suit up for training camp? But Higgins does not count for that.
Do you like Jalen Noel as well? Because I really do.
I did like him pre-draft. I would buy the dip in Dynasty. I think we can be pretty realistic that he's not going to play a whole bunch this year.
Hayden is a Christian Kirk respecter. You hate to see it. You do hate to see smart people.
$10 million bucks. I mean, my God, are we going to light $10 million on fire? Or are we going to light the 3rd round pick on fire?
The Jaguars did. The Jaguars lit $10 million on fire with De'Ami Brown. The Rams paid Tutu Atwell $10 million.
Yeah. They're calling him Slot Demon. He's got a nickname. Like he's going to be a Slot Demon. Like let him be Slot Demon. That's not good for Jalen Noel, by the way. When the guy that he's competing with is literally his nickname from the team is now Slot Demon, and then Jalen Noel is like a slot wide receiver.
Do you want to take JK Dobbins or Caleb Williams here? Or Sharps?
Let's do Caleb and just be done with it.
Caleb and be done with it. I like Caleb. We have the game stack with Pearsall and
DJ Moore.
Oh, I could not care less about that. Yeah, we got a team stack.
Buddy does not care. The famously, again, so many people watching this channel were not even there for the Ertz Algier moment. I truly will never forget just the color leaving Josh Norris's face when he realized that is what best ball had become. That the nerds had taken it over, and that the ball knowers had to take a backseat. But boy, did the ball knowers get their revenge on the nerds last year, Hayden. They paid him back for the Ertz Algier moment, big time. I think we probably should have taken Dobbins there, but it really just depends on how many weeks we get out of Aaron Jones at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah, I think Dobbins would have been fine, but I don't know. This is like, there's no discount on Dobbins now. Like I think he's going to be in a committee, and we'll see about the goal line roll. And yeah, he could be I can't believe
that I just was forced to endure Christian Kirk propaganda. I cannot believe first off, I'm mad at the Texans for calling him slot demon, as if they haven't watched this guy play football in several years. Slot demon is not applicable. Maybe it was at one point. Christian Kirk used to be a very fun, very explosive player about 9 season-ending lower body injuries ago.
Very true. Or did the Jaguars try to make him their wide receiver 1 and make him an outside wide receiver when he had no business doing that?
Well, little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess, just knowing your proclivities, I'm going to guess you want Tyjae Spears here.
Yeah, it'd be Spears or Njoku. I'm not sure what the bye week over.
Oh, Njoku is a really good pick. We are good on buys, so either is fine. We do have Colston Loveland, who will probably come back around. Yeah,
let's go with Tyjae Spears.
I just knew you'd be a Tyjae Spears guy. No doubt. No doubt in my mind.
Always the next year after the slappies are like, I'm done. I've done this back-to-back years, and then I start coming back in right when they figure out the offensive line, right when they get an actual quarterback, not named Will Levis. This is the time to go.
I mean, Tyjae Spears was fine last year. He was just injured, and Pollard was awesome. That's all it did. We actually don't need to star any Bills. There's absolutely no reason for, like, you don't need to overdraft Dalton Kincaid or Josh Palmer, on this team. It's truly, of all the quarterbacks. And I actually even think this with Jayden Daniels as well. Like, if Jayden Daniels can get De'Ami Brown to 80 yards in a game, he can get anyone to 80 yards in a game. You absolutely do not need to be sacking those guys. Now, I do think Lamar obviously is way better stacked, because Lamar generates 3 touchdown games for guys. Like, I'll never forget.
Consolidated.
Yeah, it's way more consolidated. Will never forget Willie Snead once had a 20-point fantasy game with Lamar as his quarterback. Like, Lamar can do it with anyone. That's a little annoying to lose by Shell Tootin. He's a really good fit for this team. You're probably not a Tootin guy. You're probably, I would guess you're a Bigsby guy.
No, I'm an ETN guy. I'm just going to go with the guy that's had 1,500 yards before. I know the former first rounder that's been the RB3. I think I'm going to go with that.
Dude loves Duckfoot ETN.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. Yeah, 199-pound day 3 rookie is going to be, it's got to be the one. I actually don't think it's going to be Tank. That's the one that feels the most fragile to me.
Well, I think ADP probably has it correct in terms of the probabilities.
Yeah. When ETN was next to Tootin, like, to me, that was like free money. Now I think it's appropriately priced, but like, if ETN was available to us at 102, I would have said we should get it.
All right. Do you want to take Kincaid, or do we do another running back?
Oh God, we probably should do Dalton Kincaid.
We probably should.
We should do it. Let's do it. Man. Let's do it.
I really wish that Bowers and Kincaid had the same bye.
It would have been lovely. I will say this though about Dalton Kincaid. If he has put on weight, and if he was dealing with nonsense injuries last year, like, that is like how you could like contextualize how bad last year was. But if their offseason reports have actually been really good.
Well, the Bills keep saying he was injured, and it feels like they're like inventing injuries for him. They're like, yeah, you know, he had a PCL, he had an LCL, he had a wrist injury, he had an elbow injury. He was also concussed at one point. It's like, okay, like we get it. He was injured.
Yeah.
Like it does. They did this PR video of him shoulder pressing 45s.
Oh no!
I was like, come on, man.
I'll go do that right now. I'll grab him from downstairs.
I was just like, all right, enough. You know, we get it. Yeah, this is actually not true. Baishal Tutin was a smash at the Senior Bowl, so that is definitively not true. He was one of the biggest winners of the Senior Bowl. Okay, so we have all of our stuff covered other than running backs. We have 2 quarterbacks, smashes at tight end. Our wide receivers are fine. There's one particular running back I'm very much hoping that this user to our left does not take, and it'll be a podium pick if he doesn't do it. But I just have a feeling that it's going to happen. Oh, bang. All right. So that's big. Isaac Urendo.
Huge. Yeah.
Big
time win for us. This is kind of the tier that we're talking about where like the RB2s that I feel good about at discounted prices, like to me, another really nice sweet spot. So yeah, Rashad White, Tyler Algier, Isaac Urendo. Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely smashing. So we are at a 0 running back room with Kamara, Aaron Jones, Tyjae Spears, and Isaac Urendo. I mean,
we need more. We need.
I mean, obviously, we need more. I kind of think we can maybe save our. We can do 6 wide receivers with the 6th wide receiver being one of these Bills shitters. Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, or whatever. Maybe 7. I don't know. What do you think there?
I think we'll let the board decide. I think that this team can get away with 6. I think most likely it's going to be a 7. But yeah, I don't want to make that decision quite yet. I don't think that we need a Josh Palmer. Those guys, if they fall past ADP, then sure. But I think Josh Allen running around like a maniac plus Dalton Kincaid is like enough to like, all right, we stacked it up. You can post this onto Twitter.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna post it on Twitter. Dalton Kincaid's actually gonna be our flex when he scores 27 points in week 17, dude.
Also, I don't think you have to stack your quarterbacks every single time. There are definitely builds, and I think that the Sims are showing this, where like you just need a damn quarterback. Like you literally just need a fucking quarterback. Take them. Like you don't have, if the stacks are gone, just take the quarterback. You need one. Are any of the running backs available? Do we like any of the running backs?
Braylon.
No, we don't.
He has his whole life ahead of him.
He really does. Oh man, and it could be any of these guys. These guys all stink. I actually like Michael Wilson the best. I mean, my God. Please, no.
I'm doing this just because you made me hear the word speed demon. You made me hear it, and it made me so angry that we're taking
the irony is Jalen Noel is so much faster than Christian Kirk. Like we might get a better nickname for Jalen Noel eventually.
Jalen Noel and Jayden Higgins were like equivalently good at Iowa State. I understand obviously that there's like way more positional overlap there between Jalen Noel and Christian Kirk than there is with Xavier Hutchinson, which is funny. He was another Iowa State guy. And Jayden Higgins. But like, dude, in the 14th round, like to me, that is just crazy. Like you're telling me the only thing I have to surmount as Jalen Noel is Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie, and Christian Kirk. Like I think I'm cool with that. I think.
Yeah. Or if you never looked at his college football reference and you just saw day 3, his size and
he was not day 3
or round 3. He was supposed to go early round 2 and then he went round 3. That's not great. So I get it. I think it's fine. It's not my favorite, but we can live a little.
I did that despite you. Okay. We are back up again. All the same wide receivers are there. We can take Michael Wilson if we want, or we could take a running back.
I actually like Rico and Will Shipley. I like both of those. I think I would probably prefer Shipley.
Shipley's good on this team because we have got our early season chaperones in Kamara and Aaron Jones. And honestly, even Tyjae Spears to a little degree. Like we need we need the contingent bullishness. We need the guy who just like randomly rips off like 14 points per game for a month.
My other like kind of dumb thought process with these like 0 RB kind of targets, just draft the backups of the top 10 running backs, because like you need to like not only need running back points of your team, you also need the other running backs to suck. Like that's like what really makes these 0 RB teams go, or years go, is the elite running backs get hurt. So like we've done that with McCaffrey and Saquon here. It's like not only is our team projected for more points, we like literally eliminated 2 of like 20% of the other remaining teams. So
honestly, that is it's just if more people thought of the game that way, they would be better off. Like if you're just thinking like, okay, if the season goes this way, then what type of team would you want to have? Like build backwards from.
Yeah, like Roshan's the guy you need. Congrats, you eliminated the DeAndre Swift team, which probably was going to suck anyways. Like, the guy you need. Okay, there goes Saquon teams. The Saquon teams were making me very nervous.
They sure were. They sure were. Yeah. No, you make some good points. All right, where are we at positionally? Do we want one more wide receiver, or do we think we're good?
I think we're just going best player available, and if that happens to be a quarterback or tight end or receiver, obviously we're breaking ties in favor of running backs and receivers here. But if like something crazy happened, I think we can't cancel the other positions.
See, this is the Kyle Monangai people. I mean, these are my people. Just any 7th round UDFA with a little bit of hype. These are my people, Hayden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I am them, and they are me.
Yeah, I mean, these are the guys that are gonna be on Patreon in the Discords. Like,
you're goddamn
right. People to know who Kyle Monangai is.
This man is the moderator of my Discord.
Yes,
because we understand each other. I'm not even a Monangai guy, but spiritually, I get it. 100%. All right.
Damn, Michael Wilson went.
That sucks.
Slayton. Boom.
I didn't even have to know who you want. I literally wouldn't have even had to have guessed. I just know.
You know how much money
most like Zay Jones?
Do you know how much money? Like, what is the guarantee? We're not even doing the fake BS money. What is the
$8.5 million? Right.
22 million guaranteed. Darius Slayton, 22 million guaranteed
per year.
No, like just the next 2.
Yeah, it's 8.5 AYA, right?
But yeah, but the guaranteed money being $22 million is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's Diami plus Christian Kirk money. That's
so much money. What is the Giants?
Ton of money.
What are the I am curious on this one. What is your take on Keenan Allen? Because when I do the running back heavy stuff, I actually like Keenan Allen as well, this guy could have 5 rounds of CLV before too long.
Yeah, I think every single day that passes, you add a little bit of risk. I will say this, I was interning with the Chargers, so I was around Keenan Allen. He is like a low-key big family guy, and like his comments that he wants to play in Chicago or come back to LA scares me a little bit, because like those teams don't need him. And the fact that he's like, I'm not going to Pittsburgh. So we'll see with him. It's getting a little bit riskier, but I still think he's worth it.
The Bears might backdoor their way into needing him.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Luther Burden hamstring injury, Colston Loveland shoulder, DJ Moore bad attitude.
Yeah, Yeah, that would be hilarious.
The Chargers kind of need him too. You're telling me the Chargers think they can get away with Mike Williams?
Yes, it is true. Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty cool.
Their wide receivers are Ladd and Keandre Lambert-Smith, Mike Williams, Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston. Like, that is not a serious approach to wide receivers. It really isn't.
True. Yeah, those are just like literally names on a spreadsheet. like that's like literally just like randomizer wheel.
You can't. Now, to be fair, you can't pay a guy to be good.
Well, have you guys, Zach? Have you watched Darius Slayton tape? Because I have. The man gets open downfield. I'll post the highlights to Twitter. he is a little bit nasty. I will say, look up the quarterback play on Darius Slayton's.
Oh shit!
Not
I was
pretty.
too engrossed in making fun of the Chargers wide receiver room. We auto drafted Nick Chubb. It's whatever.
It makes sense. That's fine with me, man. That's cool.
Oh, this is sad. I did love Jerry Rice's kid. Didn't
so
happen for him.
He was so bad. Even at USC, he was just like, oh my god.
He did have a billion targets in one preseason game, so they're never going to be able to take that away from me.
Yeah.
All right, we have a 2-6-7-2. I think we could get away with another running back, but it's really whatever.
Yeah, this is best player available. I would break ties in favor of a back.
We got Urendo.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah, 2-6-7-2 with three like pure contingent value guys at running back: Urendo, Shipley, and Chubb. Jerry Jeudy is our third wide receiver, so like maybe we should take a little bit of a.
I would say any positions on the table.
I actually don't hate Dante Thornton on this team. I don't hate Adonai Mitchell on this team. Keaton Mitchell. No one point out.
The thing, we're just like chop every first round.
Literally, come on, man. Come on, dude. Anything but Mostert.
What is available at tight end and quarterback? Just curious. Anything?
We do have Juwan and Theo, and we do have Dart.
I mean, Richardson's even kind of fun, man.
Sure. There you go. I mean, how much can you? What do you lose when you lose? You lose your 18th round pick. What do you win when you win?
Something.
Probably like 126 point game.
Yeah, that could be nice.
All right. Did we draft a good team? We drafted Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, and Anthony Richardson. Our running backs were Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Tyjae Spears, Isaac Urendo, Will Shipley, and Nick Chubb. Our wide receivers were Puka Nacua, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Ricky Pearsall, Jayden Higgins, Jalen Noel. I love that. Love that. Jayden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Darius Slayton, Brock Bowers, Dalton Kincaid. This is a pretty Hayden-ass team.
I like this team.
Yeah.
We need some things to go right at running back and wide receiver, but you can tell yourselves a story.
Well, we need more Flacco than the market is anticipating for Jeudy. We need Ricky Pearsall to not get shot. Honestly, Higgins, Noel, I feel pretty good. I think you're gonna get like, if you apply Hayden Hurst, Mark Andrews theory there, you're getting one score. And Bowers, and we're gonna win quarterback and tight end every single week, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think we got plenty of paths to the other positions being rock solid there. So yeah, this team I think passes the thresholds.
I agree. All right, man. Tell the people about the new. You guys are doing a push right now for short form content. There are 432 people watching right now. Tell them about the short form content for the Josh and Hayden show.
I hate short form content. I'm so bad at recording them, but I'm going to get better. So we'll be on TikTok and on Instagram. We post these things to YouTube Shorts and Twitter as well, but we're doing that stuff. I like writing and I like making these long form videos. So that's where you should actually read me on Underdog Network, and then the YouTube shows where we go over everything. So yeah, we have to do the short form stuff, I guess, against my will.
I had this perspective for a long time, and then I posted a couple of YouTube shorts that did like better than you would think, like got like 5,000 views or whatever. It's like, actually, this is honestly, first off, it's very easy to do. The scripts take like no time. You could just do it. You could do it in like 2 minutes. And then I really like video editing. Like I did it when I was in high school and when I was in college, and I just haven't done it in 10 years, but I get enjoyment out of it. Now, long form video editing is hard. That's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. Short form video editing, you can kind of be creative. You can kind of be artistic. You can kind of put your own touch on it, but it doesn't take me all day. It takes me like 30 minutes. Yeah.
It's a different like way, like your brain's kind of, you're definitely getting more creative than what you're doing like with like a show like this. So there's definitely some benefits doing it. right now, like for us, it's like we have like 150,000 like long form subscribers, and now we have to like start over on social media. It's like we need to do it, but it's just like, man, like it just kind of sucks. I'm like thinking about like, all right, I'm posting this to Instagram with 900 people there, and I'm like kind of spending my time. But eventually, we have to do it. So now's the time.
You got to do it. You got to do it. And one form of one piece of advice I would give you is that like the thing you do for YouTube Shorts and Reels and Twitter, that can all just be one thing.
Yeah.
You could put, that's what I do. I make it and I post it to all, but then the thing for TikTok is got to be its own separate thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'll get better at it, and I'll feel really good about it. So just reps. Yeah. Everything in life is reps. My first podcasts were terrible. My first columns were god awful. Just get better.
Just get better, everyone. All right, Hayden. Thanks for stopping by. Everyone,
absolutely.
Of course, the Josh and Hayden Underdog Fantasy Show. Take it easy, brother.
Peace.
All right, boys. That was one Mr. Hayden Winks. Hope you all enjoyed hanging out with him. Now you're stuck with me, man. What are you gonna do? That was our nice, nuanced, deep discussion of fantasy football. Everything in life is reps. Everything in life. What do you think? Do you think slappies have a short or long attention spans? What do you think? I'm gonna let you go ahead and guess which one you think. You know what? You guys are good. We'll do another BBM. I have 94 Best Ball Mania drafts left to do. So we got plenty of time. Oh, there you go. Sorry, I missed your Justin, thank you. I'm sorry that I missed your team, brother. Thank you for drafting with us. We appreciate you. Just got a bunch of good lessons from Hayden, and now let's just go do the opposite of what he told us to do and go draft a bunch of wide receivers. Now back to your regularly scheduled 0 running back slap through. That is correct. 109. Yeah, Hayden is the absolute best. There you go. Samuel, listen to Hardcore History. Correct. It is absolutely goated. You're absolutely correct about that. All right. Do we have a friends and family here? We have Tom, we have Psychedelic Kurz, TM Longcare, and Ben Roethlisberger and B Spurf. We sure do. It's always time to slap. Wow, quite early in the day. You know, one of the interesting things, and I'm going to take Justin Jefferson here too, one of the interesting things in Peter's Eliminator video, which if you have not seen it yet, you definitely should check it out, is that his research found that the 3 quarterback, 3 tight end stuff is more viable, which I would not have anticipated in the Eliminator. No, not gonna do the 2-hole Christian McCaffrey to mix it up. No, can't do it. This is a Best Ball Mania draft where we are drafting for $2 million first place. Can't be doing bits in Best Ball Mania. Save your bits for the puppy. Really interesting that Hayden had a different takeaway from the same perspective as me on the situation. Like, I don't anticipate the Minnesota Vikings to like crest over their win total or anything like that. I actually anticipate that the Vikings are going to be a worse team in 2025 than they were in 2025. But that led me to a different perspective on Justin Jefferson. I actually think the team being a little bit worse is better for Justin Jefferson. There were so many games last season where Justin Jefferson, was poor. Where Justin Jefferson, not poor. Poor is not the right way to phrase it, but Justin Jefferson was not at his absolute ceiling when he finished wide receiver 2 on the season. 4 for 59, 6 for 81, 6 for 85, 6 for 92, 7 for 81, 5 for 48, 6 for 81, 2 for 27. I mean, how many 2 for 27 games have you ever seen from Justin Jefferson before that. I sort of feel as if the Vikings win 9 games, Justin Jefferson, I mean, can he see 178 targets in a season where they win? I think that is I think it is certainly possible. Jonathan Taylor, let me tell you, I believe that Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor is like the best repeatable and achievable start on Underdog Fantasy. Do you guys agree with that, or do you disagree with that? Because I think that probably is the case. God, the ceiling is just so unbelievably high. Like, you have plenty of concerns with Jonathan Taylor. Like, the quarterback play probably isn't going to be that good. He doesn't catch passes. But man, you can pretty easily get the wide receiver 1 and the running back 1. I'm going to take Trey McBride. We're going to do another little rainbow start here. Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, and Trey McBride. Bijan JT, I think that is terrible. You're so far behind at running back. Well, okay, to be fair, I mean, yeah, you can just about talk yourself in any top 2 pick combo. All those players are great. I don't know if Daniel Jones is going to tank the offense any more than Anthony Richardson. CD Bucky is pretty strong. I started CD, AJB, and Reek. Yeah, of course, Justin Jefferson can easily be the safety blanket target galore for the rookie quarterback. Yeah, Shane Steichen is a phenomenally good play caller. I think we have sort of had a reversal of opinion on Shane Steichen, which is a little bit unfair based on the context that he has been in the last 2 years. But Shane Steichen has generated offenses as the Chargers offensive coordinator that ranked 10th in the NFL in yards, 9th in the NFL in yards. And keep in mind, these were not the good Chargers, right? That was end career Phillip Rivers Chargers, and then the Justin Herbert rookie season. Then he goes over to being the Philadelphia offensive coordinator, designs this perfect offense around a quarterback that a lot of offensive coordinators would not have done well with. Like, I think Jalen Hurts is an awesome quarterback. You guys may disagree about how good or how bad, he is, but I think that a lot of offensive coordinators would fail to build a good offense around Shane Steichen, or around Jalen Hurts, and Shane Steichen developed, this championship level offense that is still being used by his disciples after he left. Then you guys will be stunned by this, but the Indianapolis Colts, with all of their foibles under Shane Steichen, have been 10th in the NFL in points in 2023, 17th in the NFL in points last season, 15th in the NFL in yards, 13th in the NFL in yards. Now, the passing offenses have been pretty weak, but why do you think the passing offenses have been pretty weak? Well, I mean, I think that one is pretty self-explanatory. He had Anthony Richardson as his quarterback, which, even if Richardson is a winning NFL quarterback, which I think the jury is certainly out on, he's not going to be as most effective as a passer. Man, I really wanted Amarian Hampton on this team. He goes. I'm going to take Jameson Williams for the game stack. That's quite nice. Where did Amarian Hampton go? Hampton went at 44 to the Lamb Higgins drafter. I suppose all's fair and love and war. I'm going to pass on this tier of running backs next. I think I'm probably behind enough at wide receiver. I'm going to try and make Hayden proud of me here. But I don't really have any. Do I need to pull, Kenneth Walker up to this side of the board? Do I need to pull Chuba Hubbard up? Like, Hubbard has this very fragile profile where if he does not get any pass catching, it's going to be pretty rough. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take James Cook because I don't take James Cook very often. I got an 8-pick ADP discount on James Cook. And I think a great way to think about exposures is that we don't have any strong opinions about players in and of themselves. We have opinions about prices. Like, for example, someone that I don't particularly like is Terry McLaurin. I think Terry McLaurin is overpriced. But if Terry McLaurin was going at wide receiver 38, where Jerry Jeudy is going, I would take him all the time. I would take him 30, 40% of my drafts. So I don't love James Cook's profile. He doesn't get very much of the ball on third down. I think, going 2 touchdowns, 17 touchdowns shows pretty evidently how James Cook can be a not great fantasy asset. But to Adam's point, if you won't take James Cook here, you will probably never get any James Cook. And so that is a good price on James Cook. It's not a great structural fit. I would have preferred another wide receiver. A little bit of a saving grace, though, is at pick 71 and at pick 74, you are going to see better wide receivers than running backs. The wide receivers available at that spot. And you do need to be thinking about that as you're drafting, what's going to be available the next time you pick, particularly when you're at the turns. And the guys at the turns next time, I actually like. Ricky Pearsall, I've ranked way ahead of ADP. Golden, I have ahead of ADP. Reed, I have ahead of ADP. And if that's the case, structurally, I probably am going to find something that I like there. Yes, and James Cook and Jameson Williams is definitely a bit unique. What's my take on Trey Benson? Mason just made a video where he was really into him. Trey Mason feels fine. My redraft rankings versus my best ball rankings are fairly different. The primary reason that they're different is the value of quarterbacks changes quite a bit in redraft. So when I do my draft guide for for more normal fantasy football players and all of us absolute sickos who are drafting on these teams on July 10th, you have to balance out the quarterback stuff a good bit. And there are also like positional discrepancies. Like you don't need to go as hard on wide receivers. Wow, I love when a plan comes together. Because we are going to take Ricky Pearsall first here. Just realized I was sorted by ADP and not by my ranking. So we're going to add in Ricky Pearsall. So that adds in Purdy as a quarterback possibility for us. And then if we get lucky, well, we're actually not even going to have to get lucky. We're going to be able to add in a Packers wide receiver here. Hayden is not, the thing about Hayden is not dogmatic. Hayden is going to follow the data. And you follow the data, you get good teams a lot of the time. I think we're looking great. I think we are looking great here. And bang, we're gonna take Jayden Reed. Would have been nice to get Golden, but third eye blindside absolutely snapped me off there. 4 minutes ago, someone in the Slappy Central Discord posted Ricky Pearsall's new tattoo. Isn't Adams Njoku clearly better 2v2 than McBride, an 11th round wide receiver? I think that it probably feels that way, Andy. And Njoku obviously is going to project quite well, but I don't know if in practice, if that's actually the case, because McBride has such a high ceiling relative to other tight ends. Like McBride as a pure target earner is just he's just one of the best players in the NFL. Like regardless of being a tight end. Trey McBride last year had 147 targets in 8 games. He had more targets than Adams, more targets than DJ Moore, more than Jackson Smith and Jigba, more than Cortland Sutton, more than Brian Thomas Jr., more than Tyreek Hill, more than Keenan Allen, more than Calvin Ridley. I think that part of the issue with thinking about these tight ends in such a binary way is that at a certain point, these guys, sure, like let's even say you buy the argument that being tight end eligible is not good. that you would actually prefer your guys to be wide receivers. The primary reason that I do not buy that is that these guys just have some of the highest ceilings of any pass catchers, period. Like it is actually quite easy for Trey McBride to just be the 4th highest scoring pass catcher, period, in week 17. And if that is the case, then you're actually going to be making up so much ground on the field because your wide receiver 3 is going to be closer in bands to wide receiver 3s of your opponents. Now, great point here. Trey McBride did only score 1 touchdown during junior high school. He's undraftable. You make some very strong points that I agree with. Undraftable, the people are saying. All right, we are back up. Man, which one do we take? Do we take Higgins or do we take Ayuk? We're going to take Higgins because I just do not like Brandon Ayuk. Gosh, I don't like Brandon Ayuk. And maybe that's going to kill me in the end. Yeah, exactly. McBride and Bowers are both top 10 in yards and targets regardless of position. Straight up. I am pro Bowers and pro McBride. Pro Bowers and pro McBride. And I think you honestly have to be. And now I am going to take Brock Purdy. I could have waited. So it was an interesting one there. Could have taken Brandon Ayuk as an ADP faller. I could have tried to have got Goff or McCarthy at 119. But end of the day, yeah, Pearsall, Ayuk, and Purdy could have been nice. End of the day, I think that you're more tilted to miss out on all your quarterback stacks. Like if McCarthy or Goff comes back to me, happy to have both of my quarterbacks there. But you're more tilted to have to go all the way down to Jordan Love as your first quarterback or all the way down with Stroud as your first quarterback. So I think that was the right strategic move. How did you feel about the Kelsey Andrews double tap from the one hole there? He has got Chase, Bucky, Jacobs, Sutton, Ridley, Debo, Golden, Kelsey Andrews. I probably would have just taken Bo Nix if I was him with Sutton. Bo Nix is still on the board. That is what I would have done. You could get McBride and an 11th round running back who smacked. Well, sure. Yes. I mean, look, you start playing the anything could happen at any time game. You know, what are you going to do? You know, that is just the game. All right. So we have now got Brock Purdy, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Justin Jefferson, Jameson Williams, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed, and Jayden Higgins. We start thinking about how we're going to do our running back dispersions. I'm honestly not crazy about Scattaboo and Tracy. GM Frankie. Having 5 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 1 tight ends gave me the flexibility. 100%. Gotta have that. I mean, that's the thing that is obviously most comfortable about the early builds. And by the way, Jared Goff did go at 112. Now I might be able to get JJ McCarthy. Wow, McCarthy's ADP has really risen. All right, so I am going to be able to get McCarthy, which I'm going to do here for my game stack stuff. And then I need a running back with my next pick. Now, I did probably open myself up because this guy actually, the one hole might have taken McCarthy here just because he is nothing at quarterback. I guess he needs to take Love and he needs to set up Cam Ward. But really any running back here I'm going to be able to get is good. And actually, I am going to do JK Dobbins here because I need flex points for early on. And I think Dobbins is a better flex point scorer than Charbonnet and a better flex point scorer than Bishal Tootin. So we are sitting with a pretty decent team here. Obviously our combinatorial ownership is quite high here. Really, 30% of teams estimated ownership between Justin Jefferson and JJ McCarthy. I don't know, is that even, maybe that's not even as high as I think. And then our draft capital buckets, we are a little light in wide receiver, 381 versus 426. The team is a 2-3-5-1 with Brock Purdy, JJ McCarthy, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, JK Dobbins, Justin Jefferson, Jameson Williams, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed, Jayden Higgins, and Trey McBride. GM. Yeah, I mean, I think it is certainly the previous ADP cost keeping Dobbins down. I definitely think that's true. To which, I mean, there is some logic in that, right? Of like the JK Dobbins sort of ADP mystery. And you guys are probably coming to the wrong person in terms of like truly mathing out what the Nash equilibrium of where he should be going versus the amount of teams that have him in the 16th, 17th, 18th round. But certainly he is not at a point that makes him undraftable. I don't know if he is at a point that makes him too expensive. What I would say is that Dobbins obviously is one of the strongest picks in the time box contest. So in, the puppy, in all of these contests, I think you should be like pretty aggressively targeting JK Dobbins. The interesting thing about that is that there are also like wraparound effects there on his ADP in Best Ball Mania. So if he goes really high in the puppy because a bunch of drafters really want him there, then that also means his Best Ball Mania ADP is going to go up, which makes him a little bit harder to draft, right? So that's kind of a never-ending math equation there that I don't have someone much smarter than me with I was about to say theoretical physics, but don't think that's theoretical physics there. All right, definitely a running back here. Probably Guerendo, potentially Ray Davis. I mean, let's just be honest. It's gonna be Isaac Guerendo. Oh man, Quentin Johnson would have been a good fit on this team. Oh yeah, not Ray Davis with Cook. Thank you, Tiger Uppercut. So Guerendo, I think, was quite strong there. Interesting that the sidekick does not seem to care at all. What do we do? There's just not a wide receiver that's really calling my name here, so I'm going to take Jayden Blue. It's just a... Why do the people hate Jayden Blue? I guess he is a small man. I had Jack Settleman in my YouTube mentions this morning mentioning how small Jayden Blue is, but if you haven't watched that YouTube short yet, speaking of short form content that I was just doing with Hayden Winks, I'm really trying to improve my short form content game, as it were. It's a great way to build the audience, and hopefully I will succeed in that someday. Yeah, it's so funny. These people tell me these stories of Jayden Blue having this really low ADP, and I never see it, and I realize why I never see it, which is I just keep drafting him, and if I keep drafting him, then that probably means that he's not going to fall in my room. Well, Rodney, what you'll notice is that in the smaller contest, the $5, these time boxed contests, people do stuff like that all the time. They just take whoever they want. They try and build up their cool exposures, and yeah, we're all looking for the guy who did this. Exactly. All right, so the team is Brock Purdy, JJ McCarthy, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, JK Dobbins, Isaac Guerrero, Jayden Blue, Justin Jefferson, Jameson Williams, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed, Jayden Higgins, and Trey McBride. It's probably going to be an Isaac Tesla team, don't you guys think? I don't know. Do you guys like taking Hillsdale's college's finest? I sure do. Speaking of short form, Jayden Blue is still bigger than Deuce Vaughn. A lot of teams smell like Dante Thornton teams, brother. You ain't wrong. I'm not taking Tim Patrick. That's a CBK comment right there. Jefferson, Jamo, Pearsall. You know what? I'm gonna take a Pop Douglas. I don't even think Pop Douglas is any good, but I do. All the smoke, as it were, is that Demario Douglas is probably going to lead the team in targets while Diggs works his way back to full health. Now, my favorite tight end to take with an elite tight end is Mike Gesicki, because Mike Gesicki has absolutely no floor. But the 3 games a year that T. Higgins misses is just absolute smash city for Mike Gesicki. He also is, that's funny, he's a week 17 correlation with Trey McBride. But that's how it's done. That's how it's done, folks. So now we have all of our positional bases covered. Really, we can kind of do, if we're thinking about Hayden's rules, we can really kind of do whatever we want. There's not really any consequence here. We could take a third quarterback. We could take, this could be like a Jackson Dart Slayton team. It could be, there's not another quarterback that we have set up. There's a lot of ways this one can go, I think. I'm not going to take a third tight end on this team. If you had to choose 100% one player in the pool, who would you choose? At their current ADP, but what you give me, I mean, it's probably Xavier Worthy. I would think it would probably be Xavier Worthy. Oh yeah. You got to be, I think you absolutely have to be more in on Pop Douglas after the Drake May workout picks. He was the right-hand man. Speaking of which, where is Nick P today? Nick P is not here, and he would be absolutely locked in on this Pop Douglas talk. Chiefs games aren't going to be that stressful. It's not going to be. Oh my God, De'Ami Brown at the top of the queue. Nightmare fuel. Here we go. Darius Slayton. This one is for. This one's for Hayden. Okay. Probably need a wide. Yeah, I need a running back here. JT, James Cook, JK Dobbins, Isaac Urendo, Jayden Blue. All right, we're going Blake Corum on this one. Not necessarily buying the Jarquez Hunter hype. Could buy it, but I'm not. Okay. So we have one pick left to make here. How many likes do we have on this video? There are 388 of you watching, and we have 118 likes. I'll tell you what. If you guys get to 200 likes, we'll do another draft. 200 likes, one more draft. How about that? That feels fair, I think. Do you want another draft for 200 likes? Yes or no? There you go. I think I am probably going to take a third quarterback on this team. Doesn't hurt with McCarthy. You guys were telling me. You guys were telling me how bad McCarthy is. So there you go. Purdy, McCarthy. Who took Jackson Dart? Why? B-Spurf. Oh, that's a tilter. That is a tilter. Hate you guys. B-Spurf, you did that on purpose, bro. I do not doubt. All right. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor stack. Undefeated. No, Russ already went too. That's the type of draft this is. Russ went. I got snapped. Oh, this is a real sidekick ass bro. Well, no, he's not. He took Joe Burrow. Unstacked, uncorrelated Joe Burrow. He didn't even pretend. Didn't even take Taj Brooks. Sad. That's sad shit, really. Frankly, you do hate to see it. By the way, you guys are not even close to 200 likes. No ship chasing today. Peter and Corain are hanging out IRL. So Pete and Corain are living their truths. Okay. Final team that we drafted. Brock Purdy, JJ McCarthy, Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, JK Dobbins, Isaac Urendo, Jayden Blue, Blake Corum. Honestly, pretty good running back room. Justin Jefferson, Jamison Williams, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed, Jayden Higgins, Demario Douglas, Darius Slayton. Can't believe I got Jackson Dart stolen from me. Trey McBride, Mike Gesicki. Yeah, you got to at least take Burton and pretend yourself that you're in the casino. Psychedelic Curse, you want a sauce? All right, we got time. We got time because these These jamokes still have not got us to 200 likes. Absolutely unbelievable, bro. 170. You guys are all a joke. Every last one of you. Okay, Psychedelic Curs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Lad McConkey, Devontae Adams. Look, anytime you can take a 32-year-old wide receiver as your wide receiver 2, yeah, absolutely got to do it. Jalen Hurts ahead of ADP. Aren't you worried about the combos, bro? A defensive back at pick 54, suspended drunkard at 67, the least efficient running back in the NFL at 78. And Jordan Mason, the most expensive running back 2 in the history of fantasy football. Keon Coleman, who is going to go to his grave saying he had a better yards per route run as a rookie than Xavier Worthy. Tyrone Fumbles Tracy out there. Think you kind of hate to see that. Tucker Kraft, just hoping he doesn't get benched for Luke Musgrave. Dallas Goedert, hoping he doesn't get traded. Matt Stafford. Brother, I watched Matt Stafford golf with Bryson last week, and it changed my entire perspective on him. Not a good golfer. Tank Bigsby, I liked him better when his name was Cartavius. Will Shipley chasing. Aaron Rodgers, the ayahuasca retreat of quarterbacks. Calvin Austin. Bro, you're not telling me that you took Johnny Wilson. You're telling me everything else was jokes up until this point, but you are not telling me that Johnny Wilson just got selected in Best Ball Mania 6. No chance, dude. No, not Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson scored more recently on Hinge than he did on the NFL field. That's crazy, dude. Johnny Wilson. Gosh, man. That's really something. I'm making all my slow draft picks right now because I'm so far behind. All right. Well, there was that funny photo of the gal who matched with him on Hinge, and then, he never scored an NFL touchdown. So that is funny. 183. 100. You guys hate me, bro. You hate me. You hate the entire concept of streaming on the internet. You hate fantasy football. You hate Underdog. You hate YouTube as an application. Just really tough. Just really, really tough scenes all around. But you guys kind of have me held captive because we got to stream. No, they literally don't, man. You guys see how cute that dog is, bro? It's crazy. They hate my dog. They hate me. They hate my dog. It's sad, really. Yeah, super close to 8s. Oh, wow, and we got, you know what? Good things come to good people. We got rewarded with an Influencer 101. I just got a text. You guys will like this. This'll just go to show that society never changes. I just got a text from one of my best friends, who I play in a home league dynasty league with, and he said, "I'll give you 2/3 for Cooper Kupp and Rachaad White." And I said, "No, obviously." And he said, "Bro, Cooper Kupp is dust and Rachaad White is a 3rd string running back." And I said, "Then why do you want them?" Why do you want them? It's classic. GM, I'm trying to do some drafts off stream and keep popping up in your rooms. Well, I apologize. I apologize for stepping on your toes. But society don't rest. Yeah, sure. I mean, Rachaad White has a little bit of value. Cooper Kupp has a little bit of value. I mean, obviously, I would make it, but this team that I have is like a total old man, last man standing style situation. It's just the way it worked out. Like, I can't even pull it up because Best Ball Dynasty is not supported on desktop on Sleeper. But it's like, it has like Derrick Henry on it. Like it is. I have Tyreek Hill. I have Devontae Adams. It's that style of team where we're all going to zero someday, but that team is going to zero pretty quickly. Yes. You're never ever beating Dynasty trade logic. Love actually many of you guys are probably playing in a Dynasty league. Well, not that many of you, but for YouTube members, people who are subscribed or who are members, paying members of the Davis Maddock YouTube channel and in the Slappy Central Discord, we just did and are still doing a Dynasty auction. So we did $1,000 blind bidding budgets with 15 teams in each league because we had enough people that we wanted to have 2 leagues. And so everyone who hangs out with us in Discord and all that stuff, we did this Dynasty auction together, and it was a lot of fun. I was very glad to be participating in it. A big shout out to Chad Candles for commissioning the league so that I didn't have to do it. And yeah, I love doing stuff like that with the YouTube members. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel happy. Yeah, Dynasty auction is just the absolute best. There's no doubt about it. It's one of the absolute purest forms of fantasy football. He did not send me the screenshot of the trade analyzer. I love the new Underdog UI. Yes. Now, I think this is a minority opinion, but don't you guys think what you're seeing on your screen right now just looks way better? Like what you guys are actually looking at, to me, looks just like way more aesthetically pleasing than it did beforehand. I would like to select. Maybe we do a little bit of a high T build here. Yeah, you know what? Let's do Josh Jacobs. Let's do Tyreek Hill. That's pretty high T. Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I think the draft. Maybe honestly, it might just be this. It might just be the draft. It really could just be that the draft board itself is the thing that looks better. It's very possible. Don't get me wrong, definitely a little bit of an adjustment. It does not look the same way that it did. Let's check the likes. Let's see if you D-Gens got me anywhere close to what the likes actually need to be to have continued. You got to 198. All right. You got to 198. Shout out to you guys. I think that's more likes than my videos normally get. It's never the mic going underwater. It's that my mic reception is not very. It's very narrow, so you can't hear. But it's basically just me being a spaz and being left and being right. That's really all that it is. Okay. What am I hoping for at this next turn? Number one hope. Yeah, that I don't know. I think it's literally probably just the angle of my mouth. Mark with a very high compliment. He says the thumbnail game is on point. I've been trying, bro. It could just be the connection. This is a true story. This microphone that I use to broadcast to you guys, Soccer Dave bought this for me 10 years ago. Maybe longer than 10 years ago at this point. So it's an old microphone. It's a very good microphone. I think it was like $400 when Dave bought it. There is no battery. It plugs in directly to a power source. This microphone does. Yes. Shout out to my boys over on Twitch, my Twitch gang, my twitch.tv/DavisMatic people. I'm big fans of these boys. These are men near and dear to my heart, men and women. Now, Jaden McDaniels is who I wanted. Was thinking that would be a fun way to build a team. Wow, Joe Burrow at 44. SB7 took Joe Burrow at 44. That's crazy. I heard from Liam yesterday. I think he's fine. I believe that I think Liam's okay. Man, this is going to end up being the worst case scenario because this dude is going to take Hampton. And so it's not even going to be a good, unique combo. Yeah, he's going to auto-draft. Oh, he auto-drafted JMO. Okay, cool. Hampton, bang, very easy pick. And then Pickens, bang, so we need to set up another quarterback. Easy peasy. Couldn't do Devonta and Hurts because Hurts went at 37 on this one. We got people acting a fool. Didn't see him over behind the chat. I took Brock Bowers #1 overall. Just, I mean, if you're gonna do it in the puppy. This is a puppy. This is a puppy draft. Yeah, Liam was out. Liam was out playing the World Series of Poker. Pretty fun, man. Someday, I'll be the biggest streamer in fantasy football, and I'll be able to go out and go. Can you stream at the World Series of Poker table? You probably can't. You probably can't stream at the poker table. Would be sick if you could. Yeah, I'm not a Flowers guy either, but I'm never turning my nose up at Lamar and Flowers. Yeah, Lamar at 32, Flowers at 56. I mean, that is an absolute layup. Yeah, no cameras. I feel like 90% of the teams that have Hurts, Devonta stacks, I'm not avoiding that at all. I think that is an absolute smash, and I think that is one of the better like turn stacks that you can possibly get. Wow, look at that, boys. 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. So now we got 58 days to get to 10,000. Can we do it? Boy, I hope we can. Where were you, man? Where were you? Streaming one of the online events would be really cool. obviously. Like that would be the way to do it for World Series Poker, would be to stream one of the online events. Oh, I have a feeling that I know what I'm going to do here. And that is I'm going to double tap the Packers, guys. Nice and easy. Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, Tyreek Hill, Amari Hampton, George Pickens, Matthew Golden, Jayden Reed. And I am going to go pee real quick. All right. Keaton Mitchell team, probably. Oh, yes, good call. Congrats to me on this start. That's a freaking awesome start, dude. Look at this team. He's absolutely cooking. We must just have people drafting crazy in this room. If you have read Hayden Winks' articles on UnderdogFantasy.com, you might be a slappy. Yeah, you're right about that. 4 tight ends is never drafting like you're right. That's true for sure. All right, for the audio listeners, Josh Jacobs, Amari Hampton, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, Matthew Golden, Jayden Reed. So just a huge team level bet on the Green Bay Packers. Probably a good team to take Mark Andrews. Maybe a good team to take Isaiah Likely, actually. Don't take much Isaiah Likely, but it could definitely be a spot. Wow, what is happening? Laporta at 88? Someone has just got to be drafting silly in here. And Kittle went at 38. That's not even that early. What is going on? Caleb Johnson went a little early. I guess Jordan, I don't know. Maybe that's just what the market is like now, and I'm the one that's out of here. Maybe are the kids wrong, or am I wrong? It's hard to say. All right. It's so funny because sometimes it gets over here and I'm like, man, I wish I could just take Kyler Murray, but I don't love Michael Wilson as a backstack. Hawkinson at 91 is crazy too. That's a good bit of falling. Assuming I don't get, okay, I'm up and I am going to take Mark Andrews as my bring back here. And I'm also going to take, all right, Hayden said start taking ETN. There you go. You guys just met the person taking ETN in the 90s, and it was me because Hayden said I should do it. I mean, the casuals are coming in right now to some degree. I mean, how many badges do we have in here? No badge here, no badge there. I mean, you know, the thing of the matter is that the true casuals are not drafting on Underdog Fantasy, you know? No, I like Warren there. I like Warren there just fine, but I do want to be a little bit more diversified than I was last year. That was a Principal Skinner quote. I basically speak my life through Simpsons quotations. What is the heaviest music you're throwing on while lifting? That's a good question. I don't really, in terms of like metal music or anything like that. I did fail a PR this morning on the bench, which is a little embarrassing. I don't know. What are we counting as heavy? This is what I had on when I was benching this morning. Shook Ones Part 2. I mean, obviously, an absolute classic. Sometimes if I sometimes you just need some good 90s rap, you know? You done spark the Philly. Imagine lifting with this. Imagine lifting with this music. No way that would work. This would be the absolute worst lifting music. Shook Ones is the goated hip hop song. That is certainly true. No, I have not seen the Herbie Hancock Shook Ones sample video. So I'm wondering structurally, how many Ravens do I need for this team to pay off? I guess maybe not many. What is the week 16 stuff for the Packers? This team is just such a structural bet on the Packers. Maybe I shouldn't have taken Reed. Maybe I should have taken Diggs or Pearsall. I don't know. It's probably a little bit too much team stacking at the end of the day. Like 4 guys from one team is probably not great. And also it's at the turn. So like I absolutely have to take Jordan Love here. I can't try and push him at all because this team is 1 billion% dead without Jordan Love. Oh, maybe it isn't. I don't know. If you've got 3 guys from one team and you don't take the quarterback, it's not great. But it's still probably obviously closer to dead than anything else. You could maybe get by with okay, Jordan Love, and then I just want to see. I'm not necessarily going to follow it, but just see what the sidekick says next. I said JK Dobbins in a time boxed contest. This is a time box contest. There you go. Sure. No chance you guys get 300 likes, but if it gets 300 likes, sure, we'll do another draft. There are 347 people watching right now. There are 218 likes. There's no way. But if you guys do it, yeah. Let's see how many. Yesterday's video got 149 likes. No chance. No chance. Talk me off my round 18 Taysom Hill addiction. I just keep picturing week 17 concussed Shuck, and suddenly my round 18 is a starting quarterback. I'll tell you this, Behold. If I thought Taysom Hill was healthy, or if I thought Taysom Hill, honestly, if I thought Taysom could be back by week 8, he would be my most drafted player. And it would not even be close. Taysom has so many outs to being useful, and then he's got like 3 outs to being the absolute had to have him guy. But he just isn't healthy. He's a 34-year-old who tore his ACL in week 17. He's got like as much chance of mattering as like Christian Watson, and I am not taking Christian Watson either. Oh, there's by the way, if you are a Draft Caddy user, update version 2.49 is updated to be compatible with the latest Underdog draft user interface. You need this update if you're playing on Underdog. UD made a ton of changes, and Nicole updated the caddy so that basically, if you are a Draft Caddy subscriber, you need to make sure that you are updated, or it's not going to work, because Underdog made a ton of interface changes this week. All right, so positionally, we're at a 1-4-5-1. We have our Packer stack. We do have a bring back. We got a nice little gift with Hampton. We do have Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill. I'll probably take two, maybe a Tua McMillan turn. Not a huge McMillan guy. Would have taken Rachaad White on this team for the old Laird Bowl equivalent. Malik Washington should be going in 100% of drafts. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I do like him. I think it was later. I'll look this up. Let me fact check myself. As always. I actually am just going to take Tua, assuming Old Dirty Blair does not. No idea how you project the Vikings to be worse. I think that McCarthy will probably be worse than Darnold was last year in terms of like wins, losses, clutch play, whatever. I'm going to take Cedric Tillman. I don't really take much of him. It's no disrespect to anyone about the Minnesota Vikings. Also, the Vikings were just like kind of an unexpectedly good team last year. They won 13 games, 14 games. The Minnesota Vikings won 14 games. They had a 100-point differential. To give you an idea, that was their third best point differential in the last 20 years. Yes. I'm not telling you that I think the Vikings are going to be a bad team. I'm telling you that in terms of the actual scores on the scoreboard, I think it's more likely than it was last year that they're going to be playing from behind. That's all. Also, Taysom's injury last year, yes. Taysom's injury last year was week 13, so shout out to Behold for that. Let me see if we can find a Taysom Hill injury update. Saints head coach Kellen Moore reveals Taysom Hill updated timetable from return. This is from a month ago. Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau not part of the offseason process. The expectation is that he is going to miss the start of the season. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he'll be a salary cap casualty entirely. So there probably is even a bigger chance that Taysom Hill is not going to play. Yeah, this update was from a month ago. Look. I don't want to talk anyone out of drafting Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is a phenomenal fantasy asset if and when he's able to get healthy at all. I don't know if he is going to be able to be healthy at all. But if he is, it's pretty good. Where are we at for likes? I don't think you guys have any chance, and that's okay. You know, there are limits. There are limits to what we can do around here. All right. Probably need a second. You know what? This team really needs a third quarterback. This is one that needs one. Don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be someone. This makes sense as a Jonnu Rodgers team. You know what? Let's do it, Davis. Let's live a little. Let's take Jonnu Smith and let's take Aaron Rodgers. How about that, folks? They never saw it coming. Saints 80% likely to extend Taysom by week 6. Yeah, to do some like crazy cap math, right? That's what the Saints will do something crazy to his contract for cap reasons, to like push some deferred money or something like that. That's absolutely what it will be. All right, here. Let me start another poll. Start a poll. Do you want another draft for 300 likes? There we go. I mean, it's probably pretty unlikely that Jonnu Smith and Aaron Rodgers is the stack you need. But I did need a third quarterback. I did need a second tight end. And I think I was really, really light on Jonnu Smith at his old price. I had one singular Jonnu Smith Best Ball Mania team before the trade to the Steelers. And I don't think I've taken him since. So I'm really light on him. Yes, also very sneaky. The Cleveland-Pittsburgh stack. The Turd Bowl, as people are calling it. I mean, I wouldn't call Jonnu a smash because Jonnu's projection is just like brutal now. Like Jonnu, I think Mike Clay has him for like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns or something, which is not to say that Mike Clay knows everything about the world or whatever, but kind of interesting. Now, here's an interesting point. Where does Hampton go if Najee has 8 fingers? It is a little interesting that there's been no statement from the Chargers. There's been no statement from Najee. There's been no statement. There's been nothing. They have to obviously know this rumor is out there. So maybe there is a chance that Najee Harris got blown up by fireworks or he like legally had an incident with fireworks. We're what, a month or a week now into this rumor existing? Someone made this point to me. Someone made this point that there's just been nothing. And you would think, well, CBK, I'm trying to clown you all the time because you're the one who forces me to talk about De'Ami Brown. But yeah, like, I guess the way I thought of it is no news is good news, but that can't really be true. Like when a rumor is this prevalent, no. So that's what I thought. But then the comment on this was that the camp was on June 29th. So June. Here, let me go to because Peter tweeted this link. Oh, I gotta pick real quick. There you go. The camp was from a week prior. This is not really a Miles Sanders team, actually, because we got plenty of juice here at running back. So let's do here. We'll do another Brown. We'll do Dylan Sampson, and we'll do. You know what? You got to go down with the ship. You got to take Dontavian Wicks on this team. So let me find this Najee tweet. Did Peter delete it? No, he's just retweeting his eliminator tweet. I think Peter deleted the tweet. I can't find it. But basically, point being is it does sound as if no one has had confirmation either way if Najee Harris did or did not have an incident. Do not draft Najee until you see him holding today's paper. All right, according to Lutz, he was definitely on Spano Street at the time of the accident. Now, I don't even know what the accident is. Now, again, another good point. If a rumor starts with I and then switches to fingers, sounds fake. Can you be a running back with 8 fingers? That's a good question. Can you be a running back with 8 fingers? Oh, there was a huge fireworks accident. Started drafting Najee again after the camp photo. Sounds fake, but feels real. Dude, so true. I love coming in here after lifting and then seeing Lutz and Dante commenting, and then you immediately want to go back. These dudes are gassed. There was a fireworks incident on the news in Antioch where there were 5 people injured. Now, I'm assuming Antioch is a neighborhood in San Diego. I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Najee has a hard enough time being a running back with 0 fingers, but Blue Jay making a great point. TMZ would be all around this now. Too much smoke. Bay Area. Okay. I don't know nothing about nothing. I'd rather Najee have 1 eye than 8 fingers. Truly hard for me to say. Truly hard for me to say. All right, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with our final pick here? We have got a 3-5-7-2. Sidekick tells us we need another tight end. I don't think we do. I actually think we're chilling here. I guess this is Keaton Mitchell went. Keaton Mitchell went, bro. Bottle Rocket Sanders season. There would be a certain amount of there would be a certain amount of poeticness to that. I guess I didn't get Guerrero on this one, so we just go Jordan James. Yeah, I think we do. I think we just go Jordan James. Bang. No, let's do Ollie Gordon. If you're not taking Ollie Gordon in the puppy, when are you going to take him? All right, final team here. Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Jacobs, Amarian Hampton, Travis Etienne, JK Dobbins, Dylan Sampson, Ollie Gordon, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Cedric Tillman, Dontavian Wicks, Mark Andrews, and Jonnu Smith. He supposedly still has both eyes, but burnt his face and may have messed up his optic nerve. Well, I know what that is. Shout out to Dr. Andrew Huberman. All right, how many likes? 254? 254, bro. All right, I'm leaving.
It's short king.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You guys got me for at least one more. Faked you out, bro. Faked you out. Zapped you, bro. Dude, the puppy is already 12.5% full. 12.5% full. How about that, man? You gotta leave. Benny says I've had enough of your shit. Apparently I can't learn you. Apparently I can't learn you guys.
The Davis-Matic YouTube channel is made possible by viewers like you. Every subscriber, memby, and super chat goes to ensuring Davis doesn't have to work at State Farm. Thank you.
The guy who has done 31 says it's 12.5% full. We're all trying to find the guy who did this. Need an all-dog team? What would that entail? Like you only take guys who are dogs? Shout out to OM Godlike 101 for following over on Twitch. Thank you, sir. Reminder that you guys can subscribe for free over at twitch.tv/DavisMatic. And with that free subscription. Okay, Dogs and Gams team. All right, let me update the timestamp. Dogs and Gams only. Dogs and Gams only. We'll do that. We'll do that next. We'll do this next. Dogs and gams only. Absolutely has to be Puka over these guys. No disrespect intended to Bijan or Gibbs, but dogs and gams only. Pretty easy. Puka is basically, I would say Puka is probably the number one gam wide receiver. Or dog. My man OMG is making a good point that if Derrick Henry gets to me, yeah, AJB is the number one gam, but Puka is the number one dog. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between those two things. Puka, number one dog, but AJB, number one gam. Well, yes, but JPP also doesn't have to hold the ball, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Bijan sat out with a headache. I think the coaching staff sat him out with a headache. Gam, grown ass man. Yeah, for the uninitiated, a gam is a grown ass man. There you go. You guys know. Grown ass man. You know, that's so funny. First thing I do whenever I join a live stream is I'm phobic about being behind. So you gotta click the live immediately. All right, who's gonna be my gam at the next pick? It's not gonna be Rashee. It's not gonna be Drake London. I guess I'm really hoping I get Henry. This guy's probably gonna take him. But if he doesn't, I'm kind of stuck here because none of these guys are really gams or dogs. Real lack of dog amongst second round picks, actually. Huh. I mean, I guess I'll give it to JT. I guess he is a little bit. I don't know. What would you guys say? He certainly is not a dog, but he might be a grown ass man. Bucky's a bit of a dog. Trey McBride, no. Trey McBride is not a dog. No disrespect. T fairly gammy. Yeah, Marvin Harrison actually looks like Lutz now. Yeah, Marvin Harrison looks like Lutz now. Get these dudes in a bodybuilding gym and have them start flexing. That's a good point. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a big boy now. Now, to be fair, Marvin Harrison is definitely cosplaying as a gam, but that doesn't mean that you aren't one. Baker leads football in dog per pound. Yeah, that's true, Cade. That's true. Well, actually, I know exactly who I'm about to take with this pick. There's only one. Who took Mike Evans? Who took Mike Evans from me? Where is he? Mike Evans went at 23. Are you kidding me? All right. Well, I'm taking Josh Allen because no one is more of a Mike. They killed me, dog. Yes, Josh Allen, super grown, super dog. Doing it is gonna stink. Someone else someone else is doing the bit. It's gonna stink when you can't take Waddle and he's fit. You can't take on a grown man squad. You can't take Waddle in the 18th round. Waddle is a lab, a little ass boy. If you did a white boy team, you would run out of draftable guys so fast. You'd be dusted so insanely quickly. Not even an experiment worth pursuing. All right. How many likes we got? We got to 264. I'm always ready to learn Dylan Lauby. Always ready to learn. I believe they're called short kings. If you guys, oh yeah, Metcalf, huge part of this strategy. Can't fill out a running back room. No, you can do because you could do McCaffrey, you can do Scadaboo, you can do Will Shipley. Is that it? Is that it for white boys at running back? That might be it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's it. Shipley, McCaffrey, and Scadaboo. Tough scenes. Sorry, Kyle Spellcheck. You're taking Kyle. Oh, Carson Steele. B-Rob. Yeah, B-Rob is dog for sure. Yeah, you're taking Carson Steele and you're taking Lan Larson. The return of my boy Lan. Pearsall, the all shot team. You'd be able to build a better all shot team than all white boy team for sure. Hunter Lupke. You could take Lupke as well. I hope Land makes the Pats, and I also hope that I hope someday I wake up to a text message from Land that says, I can do your podcast now. All right. Feels like it's easier. I'm going to take Metcalf because it's easier to find another grown man at tight end. Like Njoku definitely counts. Kraft counts. Zach Ertz counts, I think. It's easier. It's more replaceable at tight end than it is at wide receiver. All right. Puka grown, JT grown, Josh Allen grown, DK Metcalf grown. Well, Puka dog, I think we decided. I don't think I personally am not giving Keon Coleman GAM status. I don't know about you guys, but not me. All right, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? Pickens, I think, counts. Right? It was like, oh, and I can't do it. Sutton doesn't really count. God, did any of these guys count? None of these. I guess Sutton is the closest. That sucked. Sutton, I guess, is a big boy. You know what? You're right. The error by me. Hunter is not a grown-ass man, but he's absolutely the definition of a dog. That's on me. That's on me. That I gotta be better. I knew you'd be locked in. I knew you'd be locked in. Yeah, Hunter is a dog. Yeah, you guys. Pickens might be top dog though, so that was tough. That was tough to give that one up to the field there. True. No one. I mean, even I just right there chose not to respect Cortland Sutton. What are we gonna do? I guess I was gonna say, what are we gonna do at quarterback? But we already solved it. We got to think about, okay, Tyler Warren, I think, counts for this, and Njoku certainly counts. These guys, Kelsey, Andrews, Ingram, no disrespect, but none of them count. I think me doing a draft where you only take guys with sub 4.4 speed is just me doing a draft, Drew. Ooh, Darnell is certainly a dog at tight end. Drake May is. I think we can all agree here on the Davis Maddock Fantasy Football channel that Drake May is a huge dog. Like, I would argue Drake May put together some of the most dogged performances in all of fantasy football last year. 271 likes. All right, guys. I'm proud and happy for all of you. 271 has got to be some of the most likes we've gotten on a video. I would rather break 80. I would rather break 80 on like a good championship level golf course, like even from the whites. Honestly, I would rather break 80 than finish 80th in Best Ball Mania. I think Diggs I think is a dog. All right, we are up. Jerry Jeudy probably last on this list of all players. David Montgomery is certainly a dog. Pearsall certainly is a dog. Golden is certainly a dog. Pacheco is a dog. Yeah, but I think this has got to be. I think this has got to be David Montgomery. David Montgomery is as dogged as they come. Debo counts, I think, but Monty more. Debo is definitely a dog, but Debo is more. Equivalent payouts: World Series of Poker final table or best ball winner. Best ball winner, because it's better for my business, right? Way better for this YouTube channel. Way better for patreon.com/Davis Maddock. Way better. Don't get me wrong, though. I would absolutely love to make a final table at the World Series of Poker. The first 30 minutes of ADP chasing about the Steelers offense was the hardest I've laughed. And what a crazy photo. Just an unbelievably photo. I don't think poker could become my business, because I don't, just comparatively speaking, I know so much less about poker than I do about best ball. And I know a lot about poker, don't get me wrong, like compared to a normie, but compared to like a true poker player, I don't know anything. Little bit of a sweat here. GTO with Davis Maddock. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to get, does it get more dog at wide receiver than Ricky Pearsall? Ricky Pearsall returns after being shot. There's got to be a good video. Is there a mini men video? There's not a good mini men video of Ricky Pearsall. I was about to play it for you guys. But yeah, poker used to be a lot of fun, but then everyone's good. A deep fake. The B-Rob one was crazy. I have two separate friends who've come in second at the World Series. What event, Stoic? He did not take the gun away and shoot the guy. No, that did not happen. Worse for Liam, you winning. I don't think Liam cares what I do. I think Liam is happy. I think Liam is happy to be who Liam is. Yeah, my experience is that 1-3 and 2-5 poker is still pretty fun. But I don't really, like, me personally, I have no interest in grinding. You're saying the main event final table, like not like a different event. You're saying the main event, bro? That's crazy. Liam coaching Davis. I don't think that would be as funny as you guys think, because I would just be like, I don't know anything about chess, so I would just be like, all right. I promise you, Ricky Pearsall did not take the gun and shoot his assailant. I certainly promise you that did not happen. Okay, our all dog and gam team is Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Puka Nacua, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, I had no fun immediately. Yes, this is true. Now, it is true that he went to go get his Rolex back, and that's how he got shot. So Tom is correct. What happened is how Pearsall got shot was that he went to go get his watch back, which is very funny. Yeah, he did get his watch back. That is true. But it wasn't like a Ricky Pearsall holding the gun over the assailant situation. Ayuk 0% gam, Pittman 0% gam, Kupp not a gam, Mason not really a gam, Jayden Higgins is a bit of a gam. Is Mahomes a gam because he's fat now? This sucks. We'll go Hawkinson, I guess. You know, he's a big guy. He looks like a Viking. Sure. Oh, true. Pittman. Okay. All right. Jake has me back in. Pittman played with a broken back. Now, Pittman does not play like he's 6'4", 225. Yeah. Okay. Very, very good point here. Mahomes is a dog. Wouldn't give him gam, but I would give him dog. That is factual. Now Hawkinson, I think Hawkinson is both a dog and a gam, based on my experience with TJ Hawkinson. No, that's crazy, bro. You don't win. You guys, you do not win 3 Super Bowls as Patrick Mahomes has done and get called soft by people on the internet. I'm not allowing it. God, this is kind of a tough spot for the Gam squad. Okay. This one's for Chad. Cam Scattaboo is 10 out of 10 dog. 10 out of 10 dog for Cam Scattaboo. You guys know about Cam Scattaboo throwing up on the sideline? Do you guys know about this? You probably don't. Here you go. This was in the college football playoff game against Texas. Scattaboo was yakking on the sideline because he was so dehydrated and so amped up. Vomiting profusely. Cam Scattaboo. Yes. Cam Scattaboo is clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Yes. Mahomes plays through injury. Mahomes is I'm not accepting you guys hating on my boy. You can say a lot of things. Vomiting profusely and then having 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in a college football playoff game, that makes you a dog. I'm not allowing it, bro. This is what people sound like when they talk about Tom Brady. Do you know how stupid people sound when they're trying to nag Tom Brady? No, I'm not having this, bro. I'm not having this with any of you. I understand. I absolutely understand why people do not like Patrick Mahomes, but I don't have to allow it on my YouTube channel. Mahomes does have a dad bod. That's real. Well, I think probably ultimately the spreadsheet bros are going to be correct about Pearsall, but it doesn't mean that they don't sound like nerds. Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I did see that. Someone posted that in Discord. Yeah, of course Mahomes is not soft. Wouldn't, I don't know. I guess I think about it like, maybe it's because golf is the sport I play most often, but you're always complaining when you're golfing. No, this is inaccurate. This is inaccurate, Soups. Absolutely untrue. Oh no, dude. We got sniped on Njoku. Where did Njoku go? Where did he go? Did we? No, okay, I scrolled past him. All right, JK Dobbins has come back from like 1 billion career-ending injuries. I think JK Dobbins is a dog. Yes. All right, I'm about to pull up the play for you guys. Mahomes, truck sticks, 49ers defender. All right. You guys are going to have to explain to me how this guy right here is not a dog. Bang. That's my quarterback, bro. That's my quarterback. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. No, this is okay. Obviously, David Njoku here. No, this is crazy, dude. Exactly. Correct opinion. Correct opinion. If Josh Allen, that is the same feeling that I had watching Josh Allen just absolutely smoke. You guys remember that 3rd and short in Week 11 when the Chiefs and the Bills played? Same way I felt. Just being like, there's nothing you can do. Josh Allen just had that dog. I am. This is terrible rage bait. I'm falling for it. I'm falling for it. And they knew they were gonna get me, and they got me. Congrats to the haters. I don't know. Can we give Josh Allen more of a dog when he has no Super Bowl wins? I don't know, man. I don't know if I could give him more of a dog. I have no issue with. I like Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen on this team. Josh Allen is a dog, but it's very hard for me to say that any. Yes, now Josh is certainly more of a grown ass man. No, I wouldn't argue that one for 1 second. Wouldn't argue that 1 point. No, I think this is the other way around, Joey. I think it's the other way around. Oh, don't bring up the overseas again. Okay. This is where the team is at, by the way. Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Cam Scatterbo, JK Dobbins, Puka Nacua, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Ricky Pearsall. Now we need to start thinking about, well, Xavier Legette is certainly, oh no. Not this again, dude. Not the De'Ami Brown again. All right. I think that got to take Liget. Liget is certainly Liget is combo dog and grown ass man. Ray Davis, yes. Doggedness is tougher later in the drafts, and Ray Davis is absolutely a dog. By the way, now this same friend who was trying to do dynasty trades with me earlier is trying to trade for Jalen Waddle. This is tough, bro. This is I don't know how to break it to him. Yes. Yeah, no, JJ McCarthy is definitely I was thinking about it. Honestly, yes. Liget is just a dog and a gam because of his accent. Tillman is a gam. That's true. Ooh, Julio might no. Randy Moss is. Randy Moss, I think, is the 101. All right. His name is Tank. His name is Tank. It's not gonna get more game than that. Ooh, T.O. maybe. 5 minutes of slot demon Christian Kirk was about to put me in the frickin' grave. All right, I'm about to be, by the way, guys, I'm about to be the most annoying league mate you've ever seen. I'm about to hit my buddy with the trade calc. I'm about to hit my buddy with the trade calc. How you like that? Gotta do it to him. Gotta do it to him. He's being preposterous, dude. I'm gonna send him KTC because it's free and because everyone can use it. Yeah, McCarthy 143. Oh yeah, check the we talked about Bowers for we probably talked about Bowers for 30 minutes. I mean, Cartavius is even more of a grown man name. I wanted to join the Dynasty League with Davis, but I was worried I might unsubscribe. Well, Artillery Frost and Dan are doing most of the management for me. Ball is life. He's trying to trade me a second. He's trying to trade me a second for Jalen Waddle. And I'm saying no. Calvin Johnson, I could be convinced into Calvin Johnson 101 in dog drafts. Wow, Blake says the Liget accent is fake. All right, I got to find a dog second. You know who's a dog second quarterback is Geno Smith. Geno Smith is an absolute dog. Andre Johnson. Ooh, Matt Stafford. Yeah. So Stafford, I should have taken him instead of Tank. Stafford is a huge dog. I don't know if I can give Thornton a gam. It's not like I don't, well, is Bryce Young a dog? Bryce Young, yo, they wrote me off. I didn't write back though. Also, another huge point in Geno's favor. Geno Smith was the quarterback of the 2012 West Virginia Mountaineers, featuring two of the biggest dogs of all time in Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin. All those throws all those throws that you see in the Tavon Austin mixtape, that's like the greatest YouTube video of all time. You know who's making those throws? Geno Smith. The Tavon Austin mixtape doesn't happen. Stedman Bailey on the mini men team. That's true. Yeah, Kevin White. True. Yep. Oh, yeah. Marshawn Lynch Marshawn Lynch might be the 101. Yeah. Caleb and Shadur very low, and I love Caleb Williams, but he's very low on the dog scale. Oh, the Tavon Austin highlight tape has got to have 20 million views. Tavon, I hope that channel's monetized. 25.5 million views. 25.5 million views for the Tavon Austin mixtape. I hope something good came out of that for that man. All right, we're up. We need a wide receiver. We need a grown man wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is a grown-ass man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I have no problem taking all the MRIs and X-rays you ask me. Truth is, it's an EKG that will tell you everything you need to know about me. Penix also came back from 3 different potential career-ending injuries in college. So I think you certainly have to give Penix dog. Oh, Tavon Austin was absolutely better than Travis Hunter in college. He just was too small. He was just way too small. Sad, really. No chance. Look, I love you guys, but there's no chance that I'm putting out as much effort if I won $2 million. No chance. I would hire a video editor. I would hire a producer. I would hire a lot of people to help me out. No chance am I putting this much effort in if I won any money. Truthfully, the only reason that I'm putting in this much effort is literally out of hunger. Yes, I am literally just using you guys to try and feed my family. It's true. That's true. I would have at least 10 videos a week talking about how much I won. That's real shit. You'd get a lot of this. You would get a lot of short form vertical golf course content. You would get a lot of that. But yeah. No, assuming I win any kind of in any kind of life-changing money. Yes, I would make Liam look humble. No. It wouldn't be any different. Like, you don't understand, bro. If I don't make videos, there is no money coming in. Like, the amount of money is 0. I don't know, like $1 million or so is life-changing money in terms of like actually being able to not work every day. I don't even have a bucket list luxury purchase on. I guess like really nice golf clubs. Like my golf clubs are the same ones I've had since I was 25 or whatever. All right. We need at least one more grown man wide receiver. I'm gonna give honorary Dante Thornton. Bang. Honestly, it's not really exactly this. So like a lot of how you make money in YouTube is not necessarily in like ad revenue or stuff. It's in like how many people choose to do super chats or becoming YouTube members, or how much people want to pay to advertise on your channel. And basically like what I can bring when I go into a meeting with advertisers, and I can say, no one streams more than me. Like if you search by best ball, streamed hours, or total number of videos, no one it will be on live more than I will be. And so if I lose that, I don't really have anything else after that, because like Peter has, 3 times as many subscribers and twice as many views. And Darren Waller, no dog. No real dogs here. Jarquez Hunter plays without gloves. That's dog. Yes, bros, I literally never log out. That is like basically I go into a meeting with one of these sponsorship people and I say, look, man, I don't have that many subscribers. I'm not the biggest YouTuber that there is. I don't really have an Instagram account, yada yada. But I can say no one does more hours. Way too expensive. Way too expensive. A good clipper costs a lot of money. After your berating, finally agreed that it's pathetic to be an adult that never reads. So Project HM needs new Rex. One's better than Severance. Here, let me link Big Sleep, Raymond Chandler. This is like when people ask me to read a book and they kind of want to read something that is interesting, but also is a little bit like kind of literature. Here you go. This is like my favorite novel to send to people. Well, I don't have the advertising deals I have an affiliate deal with Underdog. Next week on the channel, I will have an affiliate deal with DraftKings. I've got an affiliate deal with Fast Draft, and I'm probably going to be doing some DFS stuff with a couple companies this upcoming year. But I don't have I wish I had like a Diet Coke sponsorship. Yeah, I mean, becoming a member of the channel is big. I can't speak to anyone else's business model, but it's really big for me because obviously that is money coming in. But a huge part of, I think, the cool thing about being a member is the Discord, because you get to be around and hang out with other like-minded people. And so every person who signs up and hangs out in the Discord, yes, obviously in some ways, you're getting a good for your service, but you're also it's a cool thing to be a part of. So in a way, the members are helping me out as well. All right, final GAM pick. Probably needs to be a wide receiver. Who do we've got? Mike Williams. Mike Williams is a GAM. In his day. Isn't it crazy? I actually do enjoy the Elite Delete. I think it's I think the Elite or Delete videos are quite fun. Speaking of which, I'll see you guys all there at 9 a.m. tomorrow. There you go. Mac Nova just gave 5 more people a look into the Discord. All right, let's check the GAM team. How gammy was it? Josh Allen, Geno Smith, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Cam Scattaboo, JK Dobbins, Tank Bigsby, Jarquez Hunter, Puka Nacua, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Leggett, DeAndre Hopkins, Dante Thornton, Mike Williams, TJ Hawkinson, David Njoku. Pretty frickin' gam. Most left-wing, right-wing slappy book, Rex? I don't know. Let me look at my shelf. Here's your right-wing slappy. This is a philosophy book that's really popular. It's called Thus Spake Zarathustra. It's by Friedrich Nietzsche. Very right-wing slappy. And here's your very, very left-wing slappy book, Infinite Jest, David Foster Wallace. Absolute classic. But here's one that maybe you guys will actually read. This is called The Cat's Cradle. Really good. But that's by Kurt Vonnegut. Ryan, I think some people have it set so that they can't receive memberships. Like some people, there is an issue, as it were, in your YouTube settings that does not allow you to get memberships. There you go, Neil. You know ball. Vonnegut is the best. Dave Eggers, yeah, it's pretty left-wing slappy. Fence-sitting slappies? I don't know. Do I have anything for a fence-sitting slappy? This was like the biggest book on Instagram in 2023. It's called The Creative Act. It's by Rick Rubin. That's for fence-sitting slappies. All right, boys. That's going to do it for me today. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribed for daily fantasy football videos, and I'll be back with all of you guys tomorrow for Elite or
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks